Everybody get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. Or it's not walk the.
And they
What
go,
is the song?
never they get on the floor. Welcome is a massive whore.
Oh, that's mean. Joe Locum's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a beautiful whore.
Oh boy. You wanna know what's hilarious? I was listening back. Oso was watching the stream that we actually, the stream where we had Jalocum on.
Yeah.
Oso linked it recently, and I started listening back to it. We were making some pretty slanderous Jalocum jokes. Literally 30 minutes before he showed up on the stream.
Amazing.
I love that. Like,
Also, like, yeah, are we live or are we not live right now?
we are live. We've talked
Okay,
about the
cool.
audience at Jalocum before.
I was just I was just going to say like Oso really kind of like his username messes with me because I always just think of like kind of like really stereotypical like that's the stereotypical I think it's politically incorrect to say the whole term "me so horny"
He's
joke
so
and all
horny.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for some reason, when I ever hear Oso's name, like I literally think from like the miso horny sample from Baby Got Back. The miso horny. Like I just think also horny. Like I don't know why that's always comes in my head every single time I see his name.
Beautiful. Callan,
Yeah.
why did you get abducted by the Grim Reaper? Nikoni asks. My hair is kind of a disaster right now, but it's because I'm living in
Yeah.
a hot house and I didn't comb beforehand.
Yeah. It's like he was the Grim Reaper grabbed him and went, Family Guy.
Family Guy. LJ's Johnson ex Duck Bricks? No, Mr. Unknown, not today. Not leave Duck Bricks out of this. He's a nice little nerd. Leave him alone. Actually, I have no
Yeah,
strong feelings for Duck Bricks one way or the other. You can.
he shouted me out, so
That's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird how you've gotten with some of these random people. You've gotten in their good graces. That's great. Like literally,
Yeah.
I mentioned this to IDS today. Legomation Studios has you as one of his recommended channels because of the how you helping him out with the stream.
It's not just that. It's like literally like for some reason, it's so stupid. Actually, I'm kind of kicking myself a little bit because like if I actually would cared enough about just talking into a microphone and just putting like literally if I just did basically commentary YouTube like made a commentary channel dedicated around Lego shit
Yep.
and literally just made it like gameplay commentary and stuff and just dropped it on there. Actually, I might still do that. You don't really need a good mic for gameplay commentary, but if I just transitioned to just a commentary channel talking about like Lego stuff and like my opinions on like what's happening in that space, like like
You probably
literally
do
it was my
well.
response. Yeah, I do well because my brother from a little brick thing basically kicked off, and like if I just kept that momentum, I could have rebooted the channel. I mean, I
There's
did a
always
follow
something
up with like
new.
yeah.
There's always something new.
I don't know. It's like same time I'm also trying to focus on the key punks thing, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't want to get my attention too divided, but at the same time, though, if I'm smart about but I think it's also a gameplay commentary channel. I mean, it's like how much work is that really?
It's a bit of work, and at a certain point, I think that's there. It depends on the creativity of the person in general. I feel like it depends. I guess it depends on how much effort you want to put into it too, because there's definitely a level of monotony that can come from editing some of those same things over and
Yeah,
over again. That's what
yeah.
makes the highlights so fun, is that like each one of them is technically like a bunch of different tasks each time. So
Yeah,
none of those are fun.
commentary channels definitely. The best way I would describe like kind of the editing that would require for it is it's like it's monotonous and time consuming, but not particularly hard. But it does wear on you. It's
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
which that's like the type of video editing I can't do. Like even like the videos, like even if I make a video about me just talking about like behind the scenes stuff that I've worked on for a game on Punks or something like that type of video editing just really grates on me. So I'm like, yeah, I just try not to like it's so weird because like I can put together a full animation and a full trailer and like that's like objectively really complicated and most people can't do.
Yep.
And yeah, I can be completely fine with it, but then trying to do like the tedious like just bullshit editing that pretty much anybody could do like that type of stuff, it's like such a drag and I'm
It
not particularly
feels
good
like
at
it's a
that
waste of
stuff.
your time at that point. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
because it's like this should take 10 seconds, but it actually is
Yeah,
time consuming, tedious kind of work a lot of the time because you want to
yeah,
get the crop just right. If you're trying to do a quick comedic joke, you got to get the comedic timing just right. There is a lot of science to it, but it doesn't feel as punchy or fun as shorter, like actual well done animation type things. So
Plus, also like the mental headspace you're put into when you're doing that type of video editing, like it is not, particularly good or healthy. I'd argue, like at least for me personally, like I wouldn't be surprised if it's for other people too. But like as I've gotten older, like it's like that, like I've been trying to figure out how to get out of video editing more and more because even though like like I am good at it, not trying to sound egotistical about it, but I am, but like I've done worked on like again what sucks is like a lot of my best stuff is like been things I've done for other people. So my YouTube channel is not exactly my best editing portfolio, but let's just put it this way: I've edited trailers to sell something for people, and a lot of like sales came directly from my video editing.
yeah.
So I've done that multiple times.
Yep.
So like, and like I've been acknowledged by like the people I've worked with as like, oh yeah, no, it was like that trailer really sold it. So if I wanted to, I could do it, but the big problem is it's like, so even though I'm not as good of a game programmer as I am a video editor, programming video games is a lot more fulfilling for me. And also like an hour long video edit is just kind of like, that's whatever. But an hour long video, like programming job on a video game, it sticks around better. And it's like something that's like, it's more meaningful, I guess. It's a better use of that hour,
Sure.
because like recently I've been working on this Oni Plays fan game with this guy, Voodoo.
Yeah, we should talk about that. Can I get to just a few comments real quick?
As
far as
sure,
catching up
sorry.
No, you're good.
If I kind of start hijacking things a little bit, just
No,
tell me.
no. You're good.
No,
No, it's a good discussion to break down a lot of those video things because we both have a lot of experience like that. I worked at a financial firm editing videos, so I know doing kind of standard grueling things. But yeah, and there's a lot of good stuff to talk about with all that. But here. Bumblebutts asked, "Hey Callan, which Bionicle character would you like to see in Googly style next?" Oof. I guess if they just made all the Mata in one of those things, why not? That would be fun. Like it's seeing Lego's actual take on it. I know that people have already done that with Lego. What's the generator, the CG thing that they have for that?
Stud.io.
Yeah, Stud.io. People have been using that to make a.
There's also Mechabricks, which like if you get around to messing with stuff, Caleb, Mechabricks actually has like more Blender compatibility. So it's like cool. If you ever do Blender,
yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Also, real quick,
you need to hop on the Blender, man, because like I do think that if you crack down on it, like I do think you could actually be good at it.
I probably could and be a lot more useful than things as well, but it's just a matter of like balancing so many other things that I'm already used to. I gotta make that time. Anyway, Mr. Unknown says, "Hey Callan, a normal question for once. Have you read or heard of Junji Ito?" I probably am saying that wrong. Junji Ito? I have not heard of it or read it.
I'm going to go to your stream so I can Google it because the name sounds familiar, but I want to double check.
That feels like something you would know about. Callan, what's your favorite Bionicle character? Tahu. What does the LF in your name stand for? Lord of Fire. Lack of friends, Robo-Bird said. I might change that. I actually have made some new friends recently at my church and might do a stream with them at some point. I actually might do that, believe it or not. There's some cool, funny people. Lucky he's a slender. Lucky he's a man. Lucky he's a man who's really tall. Hey, Oso jumping in. He caught the. Oh, that's great.
For context, Junji Ito is like a super popular horror mangaka. Like a lot of his panels get shared around as reaction images all the time. So if you've been I don't know how many posts you see that get anime response things, but
yep. Oh, by the way, Bumblebutts freaked out asking. It's good that some people have frame reference to this. Oh wait, you're the guy working on the Oniware game? That is correct. Cage larnuu is working on the Oniware game.
Yeah, actually, later in the stream, I'm going to get Caleb to actually show off what I programmed so far. A lot, kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, is it's building the micro games for this Oniware thing. I've worked probably, I don't know, I'm working part time on it. So it's kind of some days have been more full than others, but it's been less than a week of development, and I already got 10 out of the 14 micro games done.
Nice.
So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously, I want to go back and like do some like minor polishing on them, but like if the game released, there's functioning micro games as well as um, like a couple of things. It's I'm going to be able to hit like if I work on it a bit more, I'm going to hit a point where the guy who I'm working with, Voodoo Gin, well, more accurately, I'm working for because it's Voodoo Gin's project that I'm doing the programming for.
Yeah.
Like there's visual assets that he needs to make yet, but so I'm going to be getting to a point where it's like if I like I'm trying to think. It's like not to get to TMI, but like basically like in 2 weeks or so, like I could finish up like basically like 80% of the game or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Also, Bumblewood said, "Church cringe. Monanu is the only god for me. Taganuva is our only true savior. People say that Matoro is the savior. Get it right, dude. Get it right, Bumbleblitz."
Listen, there's listen, Matoro is not actually the Bionicle Jesus. Matoro is Bionicle Joseph Smith. Okay, so get it right.
Oh, he's the freaking Mormonism.
He's king of the Mormons.
Amazing. Also, hey, can you answer this question, Larnu? Some people had questions earlier that I'm going to answer right quick. I'm going to step off camera for a moment to answer their question. So you can take this one. Have you gotten more subscribers on QPunk since you left that comment on the Oniware video?
Actually, that's a good question. I know that like my Newgrounds following has been getting more traction recently. Let me pull up the statistics real quick on QPunks. But yeah, Newgrounds like has been like more and more. It's like a platform that I'm embracing. I need to start using my Twitter, by the way, which actually I am. The QPunks Twitter is getting more activity. So if you guys want to help me out, please follow and engage with my tweets. But yeah, YouTube Studio. Let's see. Analytics. Okay. Yeah, so subscribers. Let's see. So audience, subscriber. Okay, yeah. So like I've been there's been like a little bit of a surge of subscribers actually. What's interesting is my main draw to my channel nowadays is my low poly Blender tutorial. Like if I actually wanted to grow my YouTube the best, like I should just focus on making Blender content, which actually I think I should. Like there like for my most recent game, my first Kamikaze, like I do want to get around to making like a breakdown on how I did all the assets for that game. So actually might do that. Actually might record that video and edit it, but yeah, I just need to get in a spot where I feel comfortable with the sound quality because traveling mic.
Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have like a video. Sorry, I was going to say real quick. I do have a video that for like behind the scenes stuff on my first Kamikaze that is still like it's like mostly edited, but there's a couple things that need to be done yet. So that will get made at some point. That's kind of lower priority right now. My main priority, funny enough, for QPunks is to get make sure that the Oniware game gets made because that's going to be like a big draw to my to viewership, like basically a big like a good launch pad stunt more or less.
Sweet.
Okay.
That'd be cool. Hey Larna, what's your credit card information? TryMat asks.
I don't know. Let me check.
Also, he looks so menacing. Bumbleblitz says, "What is he talking about?"
He's talking about Matoro.
You see, Larna, nobody cared about me before I put on the mask. Mr. Unknown says.
Yeah. See, no one cared about me before I made an Oni game.
Nope. If Callan took off the how and his eyes were still glowing, I would turn off the video.
Actually, I'm not looking at the video. Did you buy a how or something?
You might want to look.
Oh, sick! How did he get that?
Boo. A guy was selling it. He's done a first prototype, and I couldn't help myself. I had to get it.
What? What's the price on that?
$200.
That's actually pretty good. I mean, can you take it off and put it closer to the camera so I can see the details?
Yeah, sure. I
Uh,
did have to buy the eye lights separately. Ugh. But they are
uh,
still sick.
I mean, like, I've seen a lot of like in-person howls before, and I mean, or like howls that people try to build
Yeah.
to work for humans. I'm saying this like an idiot, but point being is like usually like howls tend to be like one of the harder masks that people tend to replica. But then again,
Yeah.
it might be also different versions are so particular with that thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like kind of like as like a side thing. Like a lot of times, I tend to notice I gravitate towards design, like visual, like character design that tends to have like really particular proportion work in them, which it's kind of frustrating, but also like good. It's a mixed bag because it's like characters with more flexible proportions tend to be kind of like harder to screw up, but a lot of times like my favorite, but a lot of times they're not as cool looking to me as some of the more particular character looks.
Yep. I
Like
agree.
I don't know, like I tend to like how Sonic characters prefer
Oh, shit.
more than Mario characters, but like trying to get a Sonic character to look right is like such a hard thing.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, that house good. Like you definitely need to bring like next time you go to a Lake convention, we definitely bring it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I
it's
need to see one bring to Virginia is a thing.
yeah. I think that it's. I think it's at. I don't actually. I don't know if you're gonna make it this year because it's at like the end of August. I think mid-August.
In May, June. Actually, I might be back in the States in August. I could plan for it.
We'll see.
Uh,
Yeah, we'll have to look at it.
like it's July. It's like the plan was for me to get back to the States like around July-ish initially. So I don't know if the stay's been extended or not. I know Argentina is planned for like that's scheduled for 60 days. So
Yep.
uh,
Yeah, we got to do
which
it because if we see LJ there, we can Liwa and Tahu can face off for the first time.
Mr. Unknown, I know I've shot on you multiple times, but a peace offering. Get get a whole PDF of your LJ Johnson's fan fiction so we can print it out and give it to LJ and ask him to sign it.
That'd be
Like
great.
like write something like Caleb X LJ fan fiction and have that be the peace offer. It basically be like this is our treaty. Sign this smut fiction.
That's a brilliant
Because
idea.
if we could get a photo of Caleb standing next to LJ doing the thumbs up holding the signed smut fan fiction, it's too good. I
That
like
would be
that.
great. Yeah, we
I
absolutely
like
need to
that.
do that.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah,
ever?
but I would like. Oh, sorry.
No,
What?
go ahead. No, I was just going to read a question.
I
Go
was just
ahead.
gonna say, like, I would like to go to more conventions and all that type of stuff, but it's so here's the thing: is like I like going to events. I'm just not big on just journal traveling. I guess is a good way to describe it. Like I don't want like I'm not really big on the whole resort thing. I don't really like just going to like the whole like I'm not built for backpacking. Like I couldn't do like the whole like go backpack across Europe thing. But I like flying somewhere to like with a specific thing in mind, and doing it for a couple of weeks and then going back.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But
Like
yeah, no, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I don't have anything.
Okay, gotcha. OMG, he's back from the dead. Yay, David Lebner. Yeah, we got a stream. We got a stream happening, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's just been crazy. IDS between the three of us, even IDS couldn't make it this weekend. He's been really busy. We've all been pretty crazy busy, but hopefully things slow
Yeah.
down a little in the summer.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit. I'm kind of a little bit out of the loop on like what's happening with y'all. We could try to do a little bit of a recap, but
Yeah,
maybe it's not.
generally just lots of personal stuff. As far as I've gotten pretty involved in helping in a church choir, although that's taken a bit of a break in the summer, so that'll be kind of nice. And
Yeah.
and then I think IDS has a girl, a beautiful lady, so he's been spending time with her.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually severely disappointed about it because I wanted to be IDS's babe.
Aw, yeah.
Insert that iconic meme of like from like, the reaction to that scene from Yu-Gi-Oh when Yami's shouting, "Hey, shut up at me!" Insert that scene.
Yep, that's a great idea.
Somebody please make a meme edit of that, and I will. I'll post it on literally everything.
Yep, please,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Your God Larnu has spoken. Make that thing.
Oh God. I can't. Sorry, okay, I shouldn't make that joke.
He's your lord, he's not.
Have you
not
seen
the
that?
Lord, he's your lord.
Have you seen that clip of Kanye when he's like in the interview when he was when he was doing the whole "I'm a god" thing, and the interviewer was like, "Why are you saying you're a god?" It's like, well, what do you want me to say I am? Insert the the word. He just says it's like flat out to just like the interview, like this white interviewer. I think it was like Fox or CNN that he said it to, and the guy just like has like a miniature panic attack when he's it's like it's shit like that makes me go. It's like when people diss Kanye, I'm like, okay, but have you actually looked at Kanye's antics though? Because like, it's like, you know what? I'm going to go say it. Kanye wasn't right for interrupting Taylor Swift. One of the greatest videos of all time. Yeah, that was more important than whatever she had to say, or was it? Yeah. It's like I get that like a lot of basic people, and I will say a lot of white people, particularly white people, tend to like shun Kanye because of that whole Taylor Swift thing. But it's like, nah, Kanye was right. It was that important. Like I saw that, I'm like, yeah, he bit his finger. That's good.
Fair enough, indeed. I thought IDS was a throuple with IDS and larnuu. David Lebner says. What? He was a throuple with himself and larnuu? The three of them? Okay. And then I don't ever like ASMR, but I would subscribe to larnuu mic quality ASMR channel. Oh my gosh, nice.
Is my mic messed up right now?
No, it's not even that. It's I think like it sounds about the same level that it generally does, or like it's not the best that you've sounded because it's Skype, but it's not bad. It's pretty clear. So I don't know what he's talking about. Okay. I think he just there's quality.
Am I getting a little warm the close meme? Am I doing that today? I don't know.
That actually you did there, and it sounded kind of sexy. But
okay, cool. Well, I don't want to give you a. I'm never gonna do that again, so I don't give you a stiffy. I only have eyes.
The last thing I want is to know that there's like a bone under the table as I'm trying to build Lego bin. So I appreciate that. Appreciate you sticking.
Do you ever think that Uncle Ben just was ever watching porn in the living room, and then Peter came home and Uncle Ben just had to fumble to hide it from him?
Probably. I mean, I guess it depends on which universe we're talking about.
I'm talking about the Ultimate Universe where he's a fucking hippie.
Sure. Then yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. Have you ever looked into the Ultimate continuity Spider-Man stuff, or not really?
I know some very surface level things. I'm familiar with the art style. I'm familiar with. I know the Venom story is a bit different because Venom is created by both Peter and Eddie Brock's dads. They're like scientists, so that's a unique take on the universe.
I don't like the Venom story in the Ultimates really.
And I know that it's the universe where it introduces Miles Morales with Peter dying and all that. So that's the main stuff I'm familiar with. As far as a lot of portrayal kind of things, not really.
Yeah. The writing is really mixed because there's certain things about that I like, but then certain things about it that I don't like. It's really weird. I can't really. It's definitely not. It's interesting. I will say it's interesting, and definitely if you care enough about Spider-Man, I would say check it out. Just for I recommend it more for just it introduces a lot of new ideas. They're like, oh wow, this actually works, and then a lot of ideas they're like, that's just dumb. Why did they even think that was a good idea?
Yeah, that tends to happen a lot of the time with when you're trying to put a new spin on a character. There are certain things that's like, oh, that really streamlines it because you're able to work off of the fact that that all these other previous comic book guys were just trying to continue adding elements to these stories week by week, and now you're able to kind of streamline. You're able to streamline the best of those things, but then they come up with their own stuff sometimes, or there's just certain parts of it that just don't work.
I know that like one of the big things that like they don't that I don't see like other interpretations pick up as much on is that I do like so the whole entire Peter letting the robber go sort of thing is actually that's actually my favorite version of setting up that scenario, because it actually it's basically like a perfect coincidental problem of shit, because like kind of like more or less what ends up happening is that Peter was doing like basically the wrestler thing for a bit, but then like the wrestlers then like get angry at him, and we're basically accuse him for stealing a bunch of cash, which he didn't steal it. So he so basically what ends up happening is that he had to just that he just has to kind of just like run away from them and escape. And when he does that, he's pissed off because he's like, great, I need to pay basically Uncle Ben and Aunt May, they have bills to pay. What's interesting, okay, this is going to sound going all over the place, but what ends up happening is the reason why Peter does the wrestling thing is that when Flash Thompson basically gets in the school fight with Peter, Flash actually breaks his hand in the fight by basically like Peter catches his fist, and basically since it's like a rock, basically Flash breaks his hand in that fight. And Flash's family sues Uncle Ben and Aunt May. So the reason why Uncle Ben and Aunt May are in financial problems is because of Peter basically accidentally causing this lawsuit for them.
Gotcha.
So that's why he does the wrestling thing, because he's trying to basically fix his own problem. But when he does that, though, basically the whole entire deal falls through. So he's pissed off and he's like, great, I have to find a plan B. And he's all in his head walking down the street. Then basically like while he's completely in his head and the comic focuses on like basically like him trying to figure out what to do next, the whole entire robber like just happens and just like happens past him, and the guy gets away, and then that just ends up happening. And the guy starts chewing out Peter, and basically he's like, hey, fuck off, I have my own problems, why do I need help out with you? Fueled on both getting angry that his previous situation fell through on him, and also being all like it's like he was not paying attention. So then it ends up biting him, and then it turns out to be a bad cosmic coincidence. But that part there, like I don't know, it's just like it's
definitely an interesting way to read it, to try and kind of call Peter out. It's a little different. I don't know if I think it's as strong, because while it is kind of blatant that a guy would get so full of himself that he just go kind of like, no, screw you, this isn't even worth my time, which is the original comic books thing. It's like whatever, it's like things are going great, haha, kind of. But
it's just like a common through line of carelessness that basically and bad coincidences that leads to that problem. And I think it's more interesting and like more gray of an issue, because it makes like it's kind of a little bit like, Peter should have been paying attention, but fair enough, it's justifiable that he wasn't paying attention that much. But then it's like that gets his uncle there, so it's just kind of a little bit like the guilt.
It's sort of a different. It makes it more. It's kind of a different thing in that instead of kind of calling out a very general, relatable thing that not relatable, but a general thing that most people could agree with, that like, yeah, you really should be, selfless and just kind of take care of you put other people before yourself kind of a thing. It more so highlights a very much like a change that he needed to make in his life specifically, like that now that these powers that are affecting him specifically, his carelessness with them, so far, just through a series of events, caused this great tragedy in his life. And now he needs sort of like a call to responsibility that's a bit more direct to him personally than the kind of empowering message you generally get with the backstory, which is sort of like everyone should use their power responsibly. It's
which again, like what I like, because it's like kind of a little bit of like, Peter has like this, like the selfishness Peter has originally in the story is more so like he's selfish, and then all of a sudden like he realizes to stop being selfish when his uncle dies. So it's kind of this like dime flip switch thing. But
yeah.
this version of Peter has like always been like he's always been trying to be like thoughtful of other people. He's never been like particularly a selfish. He was never like particularly selfish, but he's just like doesn't know how to handle things the best, or like is kind of or is careless, and basically learning to be more careful and responsible rather than basically learning oh, you need to do the right thing.
Yeah.
That's I don't
That
know.
being said, I want
makes
to say I've heard people kind of complain about the Ultimate Comic making him like come across as a bit irrational sometimes. Like he's a very kind of angry sometimes.
Yeah, he does have, like there's some definitely like hormonal moments like that from like kind of like from what I've read of the Ultimates where or like looked at, it's like it gets like he definitely is like I mean he's supposed to be a teenager, and I will say actually it's like even though the art doesn't necessarily always make the characters look their age, the characters act their age a lot more than any other Spider-Man continuity I've read.
Gotcha.
For better and for worse. There's like some really cringy shit in there that the kids are doing. I'm also like, it's actually understandable level of cringe.
Yeah.
Like Peter's internal monologue, it's kind of like they're like on one hand, I actually do like the like kind of just the character kind of like on these incessant run-on sentences in his brain. Like I actually do like those pages because truth be told, that's how I think a lot of the times. But at the same time, they'll also like some of like like some of the like the figure of speeches and slang and all that type of stuff that he says in there is kind of like I can't tell if it's dated or just cringy. I can't figure it out.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But yeah, and that's it's, I'm not gonna say it's like perfect, but I mean like there's one scene I absolutely hate where basically they wanted to have this joke where like when Peter first meets Kingpin throws him out of the window. And then there's like a scene where basically like Peter, uses his web to land on the glass, and then like basically he's like slides down the glass slowly. That comedy trope.
Yeah.
So they do that joke in the comic, but Peter also doesn't have his mask on. So it's basically the scene where there's an entire party of people that just saw Spider-Man slide down maskless, and it's just kind of a little bit of like when you see that you're like, oh shit, how that's really bad for Peter. What are they going to do about it? And then it's just like, and the comic, it's going to like almost be like, oh shit, it's like how is that going to be handled? But then the comic just pushes it away as like, oh yeah, everybody at the party just thought that Kingpin hired some kid to do a joke stunt, basically, and dress up as Spider-Man and slide down the window. It's like they thought it was like some sort of joke that the party organizers did, rather than the actual Spider-Man was maskless there. It's such a stupid like cop out that I really hated, and yeah.
Interesting.
And it's like and there's like a lot of that in the comic where there's basically like the comic wants to have certain scenes, but then the kind of like it needs to figure out how to work around the scenes that I just set up, because it's like by doing that scene it could kind of fuck up some later things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Eddie Brock tries to sleep with Gwen, who's like 15 in the comic too, and he's a college student, so it's like kind of just like. Straight up Eddie is trying to smash minors in the comic.
Yep, he's shifty. Anyway, let's get to some chat. Some people in the chat.
Sorry.
You're good. No, it's a lot of those things I didn't know. It's kind of interesting. Certain details. It's always good. I'm gonna cancel TTV right now. Okay, says. I think David Lebner's having fun with Trimat is having fun with his TTV channel account. He said, "Hey guys, I hate NI." We won't finish that. That's all it says. I hate NI. AOTTV chat.
Say nice things.
Studio Mox says the best thing that the Spider-Man story ever taught to kids was that you need to fight robbers, or else the robbers will kill your uncle. Yeah,
that's a good message. So remember, kids, fight robbers, even if they have a gun. Better if they shoot you instead of me. I mean your uncle.
Hi, your uncle. Oh gosh, I'm gonna turn.
I'm your uncle, baby. That's what
I love my uncle.
I'm the uncle baby is just like what the creepy man at the bus stop said.
Also, he says, claims to hate Ninjago, literally buys Ninjago. It says creator on the box. Shut up. This is a robot. This is, if anything, I bought Lego's not non-licensed. Now I don't know what the franchise is called. The robots.
Star Wars.
Huh?
Oh wait, which one are you thinking?
The giant robot with all the red, blue colors.
Gundam?
Not Gundam. Remember they made the one set of it for Lego Ideas? It was like a big...
Oh, Voltron.
Voltron, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Lego made sort of a tiny Voltron-esque set that's just creator thing. It's not... It's just a creator
I do actually like the creator Voltron set quite a bit. I do think it's like one of the nicer looking creator sets I've seen.
Yeah, I was at the Lego store a week or two ago. One in Tampa visiting David, and JoJo was there with me, and we got a bunch of pick-a-brick pieces which were cool, and I snagged this because I thought, why not?
I've been seeing that at stores. It's like what's really frustrating is it's like since I've been traveling, like I've been trying to make sure because since like I don't really have much basically it's more or less just a backpack that I'm using. I've packed extremely light, so like I've been trying to prevent from accumulating shit, but I haven't been able to stop that from happening. So so trying to make sure that I have room in my bag for the things I bought. Like I have bought one of the Technic, like the Ford line green car thing, which is a really good set. But though it's like I have literally no space for it. I have no idea what I'm going to do Tuesday when I have to hop on a plane.
Fun.
Yeah, but I got I did go here. I found somebody made a custom minifigure of Freakazoid, and I actually did have the little custom Freakazoid keychain.
Nice.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Freakazoid?
I did not. I'm not very familiar with the show. But
it's like one of those Steven Spielberg produced Warner Brothers cartoons. It's like same thing that did Animaniacs worked on it. Yeah. It's really weird. The best way to describe it is it's like an accidental masterpiece because it was literally just like a bunch of animation staff were put on the show, but they had to make the show before they even knew what it really was.
Yeah.
I know Bruce Timm was working on it for a period of time before doing the Superman show. Like he actually did the main character design for it, so it has the Bruce Timm look, even though the humor style is not Bruce anything he would produce at all.
Interesting.
I don't think he was exactly the biggest fan of the show though, because it was too much of a comedy thing, and he didn't really want to do a comedy TV show at the time.
The comedy he's generally done has been very much kind of snide kind of bits in between in between action stuff, like kind of situational humor, like conversational kind of humor a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's like but Freakazoid is the humor styling it's just a completely goofy, and the show very much self-awarely doesn't they literally don't do his origin story until episode 4 or some shit, and they literally acknowledge being oh, we should have done this episode sooner, and then there's literally a joke a couple episodes later where they're like, wait, we care about continuity now.
That's funny. Yeah, no, man, the amount of stuff that we could watch together or just comment if we lived closer would be, it would be insane. We would be able to.
Yeah. We just need to start a Hassan style, reaction channel, so then we can just, make money off of just, watching all the dumb bullshit that we show each other.
Yep. Yeah. David Lemner said, said, Callan, children are cruel and I love minors. Oh, wait. Oh, Callan, have you ever heard Balancing Body Energies? You should listen to it. Okay. I was trying to see if there was a connected thought there. Not really, but I appreciate you, David Lemner.
He sounds kind of a little sus.
Oh, yeah, it does. Also,
stop lying to me, Walt.
Justin Gamer, who I've not seen around, he said that your joke about one of the Bionicles doing blackface was hilarious. Thank you. Technically, that was IDS's joke, but yeah, IDS, that was a fun video. I like
My father loved doing blackface.
Yep.
That's what Justin Trudeau's kid says at the the picnic.
Oh yeah, literally. Yep. Oh, Justin.
What I literally don't understand how like literally it's all like okay, politics morning. Like, isn't like Canada like a really lefty country? Like, how the hell do they have like a blackface to president?
It happened when he was young, and he keeps up the lefty politics now. So yeah, basically.
It doesn't the left adopt like Anonymous's slogan, "Never forgive, never forget."
Kind of, but when it comes to certain political power, if you can maintain that power and not kowtow to the mob, you can get away with it. Like literally, we have a governor in our own country who would be probably more susceptible to being bullied. His name was Ralph Northam. I think he's the governor of Virginia or something. I think he was recently replaced, but he had a blackface thing in his past where people were really calling for him to quit. He just didn't, and so he was able to finish his term out just because he was stayed firm.
What really bothers me a lot about a lot of this stuff is like, truth be told, at this rate, I really don't know like what would be like my political brand. Like if somebody said like, oh yeah, what political affiliation you have, like I would say none. But if somebody says like which one, but if somebody wanted to put me into a box, like I don't know like what box it would be. Like I haven't done like a little alignment chart or some quiz or anything like that recently. I don't know if I'm the chaotic neutral or what all that stuff is right now, but anyway,
a lot of the party boxing is overblown anyway, because there's certain things that just a lot of people agree on. It's people get way too wrapped up in it, but
the thing though is like I will say that I tend to typically if the big issue is the fact that like I tend to like if you were to put into the binary of like conservative or liberal, like I would say it's more I better fall into like the like more of the liberal category. But the problem though with it is that I feel like they just, I don't know, it's just like like a lot of like liberalism, like on paper, like I agree with it, but in practice, like it just like the people who are supposed to be like fault of doing the things just don't do it correctly.
It's
or
weird
something
that
like
we've gotten to a point where the liberal stereotype is being more closed-minded these days, despite the fact that they're always preaching to be more open-minded. So
yeah, exactly. It's just like I don't know. It's like they don't practice what they preach. Like a lot, it's like like liberal politicians will say the right things like in their campaign slogans, but if you actually look about like what they're doing, it's like it's not right. It's like Hillary Clinton said all the right things, but she also said super predator.
Yep.
And then when I go on the internet, I'm a super redditor.
Shut up. That was horrible. It was really offensive.
Count live stream highlight super redditor.
No. Oh, that's terrible. So bad. Never. No, maybe, I don't know. Oh my God,
at the very least, that's going to be at least a post-credit sequence.
Oh my God, if Callan started to talk about abortion, I will squint my eyes. Well, I do have my opinions on abortion, but that's the thing. I'm not going to get into them here because it's frankly, it's none of
not right place, right time sort of thing.
Yeah, no, it's really not. Yeah, not. This is not the place for it. We can have.
Yeah.
If you genuinely want.
And that's why we're starting up our politics podcast called
the Young Liberals, the Young Jerks.
Actually, Young Jerks is a pretty good one if you wanted to do a podcast name.
Yeah, hey guys, we're the Young Jerks. What's up?
Alternatively, the Young Twerks. And it's just like, it's like, hey, welcome to Young Twerks. We're a Cuties fan podcast. Every episode we talk about cuties and nothing else.
Oh my.
This episode we got Mr. Girls, the biggest Cuties fan of all time.
No, let's not. Oh gosh, that guy. We'll see it.
Yeah,
I
let's
wonder
not bring
if justice
Mr.
will ever
Girl.
come for him for his takes.
again, like I've said this multiple times in the Skype group. It's fucking mental that guy's gotten traction now. Like he had the cuties thing. It's like usually most people like have like the you know what, cuties is fine, and then their career blows up, but they had something before then. No, Mr. Girl, like he got his career blow up out of the way, and then he started getting the traction.
Yeah, how bizarre is that? It's very strange.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, I wanted to read. Dave Lebner said, "Larnuu be like, hello, liberal. Did you get that haircut at the liberal store? Laughs and lean goblin. Laughs and lean
Yeah.
goblin."
That's a good joke.
Apparently, that's you. Apparently. Why are you bullying our fans like that? He put his heart and soul into that comment.
I was giving him a round of applause.
My father loves applause.
My father loved clapping cheeks.
Also, yeah, this robot looks so nice. Like, the posability isn't amazing, but the robot looks really nice only from the front. Then from the back, it's just all plates. It's just
Yeah,
all
that's
plates.
that's what you. Yeah, that's also what you say about girls when we hit up the bar. You're like, man, she's all nice from the front, but from the side, she fat.
No, from the side, she got plates on her bum. Like, literally, they're just literal table plates.
just like, I'm like, dude, she got in a car wreck. She needed the plates for it.
Oh gosh. But then I'm like, oh, what? Am I the asshole now?
Yeah, then you just went he.
Yes. My father loved cuties, Justin Gamer says. Oh, good. I'm glad your father enjoyed the film. Have you guys seen Mountain Dew Lean? Justin Gamer asks. No.
Yeah, sorry, but you need Sprite to make lean.
Also, Bumbleblitz says cuties is fine. Quote larnuu 2022. Is this a factual?
I never said that. It's Xander. He's a liar and a fake.
He's a liar. He's a rude bully. I don't like him. Oh,
I don't like him. He's a rude bully. Unlike me, he's always nice.
I like.
Look at my redacted over there. Look at him. Are you redacted?
Hello, Hillary.
There's a clip of Trump that like my dad has been trying to find for ages, and like if you have it on hand, I would it'd be deeply appreciated. Anybody here, like this goes for everybody here.
Yeah.
There's a clip of Trump basically talking at like one of the speeches where he basically more said it like as explicit as he can while still running for the president, basically saying that Hillary Clinton was late for the podium because she took a fat shit behind stage and it was disgusting. And he's like, it's so disgusting, I don't even want to talk about it. But it was awful, but I don't want to talk about it. No, I won't talk about it. Like it's like doing shit like that. But there's like, apparently like he goes really ridiculous into it. But like you can only find like the first bit of him like saying no, I won't go into it. But like when you start trying to worse stuff, then there it's
interesting.
That stuff like.
Well, that's actually interesting to hear because I'm not as familiar. Yeah, that clip must be harder to find because. I know that Zach on and Oni plays. He must have seen that because he references it by doing his Trump impression, saying,
"She took a shit at the McDonald's."
Yeah, and I nearly puked. yeah. So yeah, he must have been referencing that. But yeah, alas,
it's.
Hopefully we can find that.
It drives me crazy because of the fact that like, listen, it's like it's. I don't like that there's so much like basically just scrubbing like the clips of that like these politicians are saying online. Like that really does bother me on social media because it's just kind of a little bit like if these guys are going to control your country, you need to know everything they say unfiltered.
And if they're saying crazy things, you should let them bury their own grave as people look back and not take them. They should take them less seriously. But I think that they're so afraid that people are just laugh it all off, which in part they have, but they kind of feel like they have to. It's almost like mutually assured destruction both ways. They're like, well, if you guys are going to laugh it off and vote for him anyway, we're going to hide it all. And then that justifies people saying they're hiding all the stuff. That means he must have something important to say. So now that's why we're going to vote for him. So it's like...
Yeah, it's so stupid, and I don't... yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm very much like, you just need to like let
Yeah,
it
you
all
literally just need
air
to have
out.
it all be available in some respect. If it's not, if it's not straight up porn or anything, or like violent crap, like it should be available.
Yeah. Even even then, if it's like like my big thing is it's like as long as it's like as long as it's not like something that's like harming somebody, like like an ISIS beheading, like I think it should be available, and if it's mature content, you should have like a content warning on it. Like, I mean, really the only reason why YouTube doesn't have adult content on it literally is just because, oh yeah, they couldn't figure out how to make it profitable if it was, if it hosted porn videos and all that type of stuff. Like advertisers you wouldn't want Coca-Cola advertising on it. But at the same time, though, I mean, like what's weird is like, so here's the thing that a lot of people don't know, and like and it surprises some people who don't use it, who don't like, I don't know, it's like this is something that like I get like a lot of like, oh, what, really, like responses from. But how common knowledge is it that Twitter has like just straight up has porn on it?
Yeah, no, they actually have a couple times, but yeah, the media doesn't talk about that much for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I know that on Joe Rogan's podcast, Jack Dorsey just straight up said, yeah, no, porn is allowed on Twitter. So, yeah,
yeah, it's like that specifically is just like the fact that like and again, this is not me being all like, ooh, it should get taken off or anything. That's because I think uh you know everybody should be able to do whatever they want on it. I mean,
quick
there's a
question.
reason why
Yeah,
I sincerely believe Newgrounds is like in terms of like a system, is the best setup social media for artists like ever made.
yeah, and
Like
quick
all of its systems
question,
are perfect.
context in relation to that. Was there more? Is there somewhat of a direct correlation between Tumblr losing a ton of its value with them cleaning up a lot of their stuff? Like, it basically, like,
So the Tumblr thing.
because
So
I
what
know.
happened with Tumblr is that and it's like and like but I'm going to say this as like basically monetizer friendly as possible.
Yeah.
But Tumblr basically had very poor moderation, and was that and illegal adult content was being put on the platform. Well, adult, in terms of like, it's the best way to put it up, but maybe it's not the perfect word to describe what was being displayed. But anyways, yeah, so that's what happened to Tumblr, but it's like, and it got delisted from like Google Play and the App Store because of their lack of moderation.
Yeah.
Uh, and then that happened, and then basically like all the advertisers pulled out, and it basically tanked the value of the company.
Mm.
Twitter basically doesn't have like a whatchamacallit, the same sorry, hold on a second. I was doing a few things at once, and now my brain went nothing. So basically Twitter, they basically like kind of, they allow it, they don't advertise that they allow it, and they would never want it to basically become the identity of the site, because if that became the case, then Twitter would basically like it would become, it would devalue the company too much,
Right.
uh but and like more and more they basically have like sensitive content filters on Twitter as a platform.
Right.
um
They do.
but it's, yeah, so it's like Twitter's figured out how to do it better than how Tumblr handled it, because I mean, even though it's like technically if you want to go to a Twitter that basically has 18 plus content on it, nothing is preventing you from looking at it, while Tumblr you needed an account to look at that type of content.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But
But isn't
regardless
it?
though,
I swear Twitter kind of demands you to have an account to look at stuff now as well, doesn't it?
maybe they changed it, who
Maybe.
knows, like, yeah.
Well, I all I know is that I get like that redirected a lot these days. But whatever. Maybe they're
Yeah,
happy
but
to.
yeah, either way though, it's like Twitter is like, I mean, as much as like we all hate it, it's definitely, you can't ignore its current importance, because of the fact that like literally all the news comes from Twitter, and it's like everybody uses it because everybody else is using it. But if it's what everybody else is using, you gotta fortunately fucking use it. And That's kind of where I am right now. Like I've been slowly revving back into it, but though it's like yeah, slowly revving definitely it's contradiction. You don't really slowly rev a motorcycle up.
Oh, quick question.
But,
David Lemner
yeah.
said, "Who was the artist who got arrested for assault again? He who like drew
He
borderline child.
got,
It was just a smidge
he
off."
got to be more specific. There's a lot of there's a lot
He
of
said he drew like borderline child P, but was just a smidge off.
you're. I think he's talking about Shadman, which
Oh,
yeah,
maybe
I'd
he is
actually.
talking about Shad, yeah.
I'd argue that he crossed the line actually straight up into straight up straight up you know
Choppy.
that sort of content because of yeah because of some of the stuff like this sounds really fucking ugly to say because like years ago this guy was a dickhead, but now it's like kind of like he actually has good information out there. So okay, this is going to be fucking cringe, but I actually recommend watching Turkey Tom's video on the subject. Like, I get it's a meme, but yeah, but listen, it's like Turkey Tom. Like, even though he's not my favorite guy, he actually does. He actually does do like a pretty good job at covering specific topics. And if you
Yeah,
if you
no,
need
that's
a
true.
if you
I actually just watched his video on a lot of the people that H3 had covered over the years, and it was interesting
Yeah.
to see some new information about them. Like, I had no idea that completely missed that Ethan Bradbury and his brother went on their podcast at any point.
Yeah, it's what's interesting is it's like a lot of those commentary type channels have transitioned to being like a lot of the best topics and like the people who tend to do like the better jobs at covering topics
Yeah.
are more or less Kiwi farm lurkers
Yeah.
that do it. But at the same time though, it's like what's weird about Kiwi Farms is that like I have such a really weird mixed opinion about Kiwi Farms because on one hand, like I completely like I have both arguments on why it's good and why it's bad. Let's put it that way. Like there's a lot of things why it should exist, but then there's like a lot of things about it where I'm like, prevent me from actually saying I would support the website. I would say it's like something that I endorse. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And I mean, I do think it's important. I do definitely think it's like something you should pay attention to, but it's not something that I would necessarily say you would have to like. And also, I wouldn't say it's even anything you have to particularly look at either, because of the fact that again, like a lot of like if you're going to look at basically YouTube documentaries and all that type of stuff, it's like basically the ground zeros is Kiwi Farms. And one thing I've grown into having more of an interest as I've gotten older is that there's a lot of like backdoor ground zeros, like websites out there that I don't think enough people are consciously aware of, that basically heavily influences the culture of the internet and all that stuff. Like good examples like TikTok will not it will have like a trend to go off that's inspired off of a web animation, but if you trace back where that web animation originally came from, it was a Newgrounds animation. It's like a lot of like Newgrounds, 4chan, and Kiwi Farms. Like currently, right now, like if I went to say the big three, that basically like kind of are the backdoor influences on the wider culture of the internet, like the more surface level web culture. Like those are the three sites that have the biggest influence right now. I'd argue.
Gotcha. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
so it's like
I more or less agree.
You don't have to go on them, but if you have any interest in this, you need to be at least aware of their existence.
Yep. I want to see larnuu's back door, Oso says. Uh-oh.
Well,
I don't know if
guys are announcing the Patreon and the OnlyFans. We do multiple platforms too, because we're trying to we endorse all. But,
I think Rahi are overrated, Bumblebutt says. What? Rude. I like animals that are robot animals.
I think Rahi are overrated. I mean, like just Nui Dogga pussy ain't that good.
Goodness. Though Nui Jaga is pretty sick in design. Like all the original 2001 Rahi look cool. What's the worst one?
There's definitely like varying degrees of like I like a lot of like the classic ethnic stuff, how a lot of that stuff looks, but sometimes though, like I will admit that sometimes it can be seen as a little too abstract for some people's minds,
Yeah, for
But
sure.
like I don't entirely hate like all the gaps that they had in there. Like I kind of like how everything was like lift arms looking like abstract modern art a little bit, but I can also understand why some people are kind of a little bit like turned off to that and want to have everything plated up.
Mm. Also, we got a
Yeah.
very general question. Zachary Vogel asked, "Are you a cat person or a dog person?" Both is an
I
option.
used to I used to think I was more of a cat person than a dog person, but now I'm kind of actually transitioned to being more of a dog person over the past couple of years.
Interesting. Even though
Yeah.
you've had more experience with cats, technically.
I've actually, it's interesting. It's like I had cats in the young, like I mean dogs only when I was younger, but then when I became a teenager, I got a couple cats, and then I don't know. As I've gotten older, kind of truth be told, I'm just kind of tired of dealing with them. Like I
Yeah.
kind of like just like their behavior just kind of like rubbed me the wrong way more, and I got more frustrated with those animals, and um yeah. It's just like. I, the big thing is like my favorite cat, which I mean I know you're not technically supposed to have favoritism with pets, but though it was kind of like one cat was kind of like we just kind of ended up having to take care of it because it didn't have a home, and then the other cat was more my brother's cat than my cat. But the one that I would consider that was my cat, um, he was the sweetest kitten ever, and he was like so nice in the first half of his life, but second half of his life, he's such an angry bastard, and I just hate him now. Like I hate saying it like that, but like I don't like his personality at all. Like I don't want anything to do with him. Like the first part, he was amazing, but now it's just like I don't fucking want to be around him.
Yeah. Larnuu
It's
just
like
thinks dogs are more mature for their age. Okay, Seth.
I know, no, I definitely disagree on that. It's just I don't know. What I like about my stance on dogs is like I don't like I'm not I don't have unconditional love for dogs like some people do. Like
Right.
some people like act like dogs are pure. Dogs can never be assholes. Bruh, have you ever seen a fucking husky? Just look at a husky and tell me if you like. Well, watch some husky videos and tell me if they're basically that there's no such thing as a as a dog that can be a bastard.
Larnuu sounds like he's talking about an egg. Spumbleblit says.
Yeah, fair enough.
Dude, my ex was such a bastard.
I don't think guys even call their
No, yeah, that
ex-girlfriends
didn't
bad.
make as much sense to me, honestly, but
Yeah.
whatever. How to get
I mean, I
arrested.
guess I'm
Step
gay.
1, purchase an Amazon Echo. Step 2, after acquiring your Amazon Echo, prepare to throw it through your neighbor's window. Step 3, before throwing your Echo at your neighbor's window, make sure it will say tactical nuke midair. Step 3, throw your Echo through your neighbor's window. Step 5, wait for the police to show up. Thank you, Studio
Speaking about
Lines.
speaking about how to get arrested, I need to double check this because I think I saved a screenshot of it, but I need to find it. Um, turn it. I literally was typing into Google like like basically like how to something another. Like I was looking up like basically like I needed to look up some game programming like tutorial. Like like how to motion track in Godot or something like that. Um, but it was like the Google literally responded with shit, I don't have it saved, but it was literally the words "I kid you not" or it was like how to hide a body was like one of the first results. It was like how to hide a body, how to get away with murder were like the first results
Oh my
in
gosh.
there, and it's like I didn't put anything in there. It's like it was an incognito tab that with running through a VPN, so it's like none of that information should have been saved, and so just like the popular results at the time were that. And I'm like, I hope that's just not because I'm in Mexico. That's all I'm going to say.
What, do they like to eat dogs more in Mexico?
No. It's like how to get away with murder and how to hide a body.
Oh, yeah,
Is
yeah. Oh, gosh.
yeah, and it's like kind of like yeah. All I'm going to say is like some it's yeah. it's not like not me being like, it's like I get that some people would try to cancel me as it being like, oh yeah, Trump loving bigot and all that type of stuff, but all I'm gonna say is it's like, it's not uncommon for people to have narco family members, especially where I'm currently living, let's put it that way.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So
Also, I got
so
a
it's
couple
like,
other.
so seeing that in there, it's like I'm hoping like, I thought the narco were like not supposed to be in my area. I just thought it was just a family that was in my area.
Yeah. Hopefully that was just broad ad, I guess. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I think so. I think well, actually, it could have not even been Mexico specific. Thinking about it now, because because like the VPN was American based, so that's something that's happening in the States again.
Yay. Trimat said, Caleb, will we ever do a smash or pass for Bonkle characters? No, I don't want to smash any of them. I'm not freaking YMS or other weird like furry tubers or all sorts of crap who would actually have sex with cartoon characters and stuff. I want a nice woman someday.
I like how you're like, you're like, and I don't want to be interested in like the furry tubers, all that type of stuff. Meanwhile, I'm like, modeling one of the characters from the Tumblr, which I guess if you give that joke, you can tell what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a bot a robot. What is that called? A droidy?
Incel?
What is it if you're a robot fetish? What is that called?
Oh, I don't know what robot fuckers are called.
I feel like that's a little more normal because a lot of, not super normal, but robots are at least generally like based around the human form. So especially lots of android type things that are just trying to be like robots hidden. You got like the Terminator, stuff like that. Like there's a closer level to humanity than with animals is all I'm saying. But I still think it's weird, and I don't think I would ever want to have sex with this Bionicle mascot.
I wouldn't. Like the sex robot thing, like it's like it depends on the robot. I guess is going to describe it for me to rationalize it. The furry thing, like it really depends on kind of more so like I guess the depiction of the characters. Like a good example is it's like if somebody's being like, "Ooh, I want to fuck Nala from Lion King," I'm all like, "Ugh, no, get away."
But it's voiced by Beyonce. Dude.
That's even less of a furry. So yeah, okay. So here's gonna be kind of my hot take here, but it's like you guys need to understand that basically it's like there's a difference between being a furry and being into bestiality. It implies that furry implies that there's some level of humanity there.
What?
Like,
I mean, I can accept that there's like barely a difference, but it's right on the way, man. Is all I'm saying. It's like
it depends on the depiction of the characters, I guess is a good way to describe it. It's like there's like some things where I'm just kind of like, yeah, no, that's not that's not far enough, and then there's other ones where I'm like, okay, yeah, you do you. That's like it's like I'm not calling PETA today.
Yep. OMG, how was it like meeting Beyonce? Yeah, Bumble Blitzes. Gosh, all the advertising for the Lion King, that 2019 movie was insufferable. YMS, he's a creepy dude. Not really that creepy, but his sexual interests are deviant from what I've heard. But he actually makes good reviews, is all I'm saying. And yeah, a lot of his coverage of that Lion King movie, there's so much embarrassing stuff as far as the promotion of that film. It's awful.
Yeah, I haven't seen his review on it, so I should probably hop to that at some point.
It's pretty good. It's very, very lengthy, and he talks about a lot of the music too, which is interesting because like there's so many mistakes where they just didn't care. They didn't care to look at how they use the music in the original movie. There's specific music cues in like the Stampede sequence where the music is like paralleling Zazu's movements as he's flying, like the stringed instruments are going up and down with Zazu's flight, that they just don't even match the sync with anything. Like they just play the music in the scene and they just don't match the sync at all. It's like, it's so inept.
I know that like the whole entire like big like technology thing, because like Jon Favreau was involved with it, that movie.
Yeah.
Like I remember being told like one of the big things about the film that was like the revolutionary technology, because the whole thing was kind of more of a tech demo than an actual film.
Right.
And the big thing that they were all like was like, oh yeah, we just made an animation and it's like the whole entire thing is done 3D, and then we get the director to go in there and basically the director can set up all the cameras himself in this interactive environment to figure out like, you know, basically where he wants all the cuts and the placements and everything like that, exactly how he wants it. So like basically it's just like a full like the whole entire thing is animated as a full, you know, 3D sequence that you can look at any angle. And but then, like, I think like Favreau just got in there and he just decided, okay, he just pulled up the original storyboards and he was just like, okay, let's match the shots exactly. It's like, really, like you have this tech that's supposed to show off this feature and you're not gonna utilize it.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, yeah, no, but thinking about now, just is like, what would be a funny game is like not to do smash or pass,
Yeah.
but rather to do a thing called freak or normal, where if you're kind of like if somebody said like, oh yeah, like I find this hot, like basically you're like freak or
There's a
that's
level of
understandable.
detachment with that. Yes, I like that.
Yeah,
better.
because then it's like, you know, you're all because it's like, you know, like you know, like then you can do it, KLB, or you can be like basically it's like Jessica Rabbit. You're like, oh yeah, that's a normal thing, but you don't have to admit that you're into Jessica Rabbit.
Yep. Also, someone
Yeah,
named
so
Freddie Freaker said, "Found your stuff on my recent Bionicle nostalgia trip. Good stuff, my man. Thank you very much. Yeah, larnuu here and IDS. We're constantly working on new stuff, and you might want to stick around because in a little bit we're gonna be looking over larnuu's Oniware game. Since your name is Freddie Freaker, clearly you must be familiar with Oni
yeah,
players.
you could have just not like Freddy Freaker in a vacuum.
That's true. How many people liked Freddie Freaker in a vacuum? It's got to be a very small number.
I think it's like the same. I think probably the same amount of number of people that like got ironic enjoyment out of stuff like, you know, Channel Awesome members, because like definitely the Only Plays group like has like popularized certain like, you know, meme followings and all that type of stuff, but it's not like that. There's that at all. You know, that's actually what's crazy about it is like I used to go on Cringe Channel like back when that was a thing. Years before I actually even knew that it was actually like Niall from Sleepy Cabin was actually one of the original co-founders of Cringe Channel.
That's interesting, huh?
Yeah, like, but then he left because because he didn't want to be involved with the monetization of it.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I can't blame him for that because yeah, if you're literally making money off of stuff that's easily becomes just bullying people who are not all there.
It's yeah, I don't know. It's like Cringe Channel definitely was one of the more interesting sites, and it's kind of sad that it kind of just fizzled out and all that there. Like like actually had a pretty decent community, honestly.
Yeah, Rudaka has style, but her personality is insufferable. Well, she's devoted to her man Makuta, dude. She's a loyal housewife if you think about it.
I don't know, but like because she's supposed to be loyal. She's supposed to be loyal to Sidorak, but then she's not. She's like the definition of.
She's using him for her real babe.
Yeah, she's the definition of kind of like, you know, like my boyfriend and my husband.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, it's true.
Yeah, I don't know, and personally for me, like I will kind of a side tangent, but I really don't like there. I've met a couple women that were like, you know, like who I'm like, oh yeah, I know you seem all right, but then kind of like one kind of who admit that they will just kind of, you know, even if they're not into a guy, that will, you know, use them for kind of like as a financial resource thing.
Oh gosh,
and kind of like
yeah. No,
actually this is kind of
seriously.
Wait,
real quick. That reminds me. I met a woman named Rudaka, and yeah, she was just really toxic.
Anyway, so
completely unfunny.
Like, there's like this is like an actual real thing, but like as I've gotten older and like I've kind of just like had more time to reflect on my college experiences, like I periodically have found like myself realizing, oh shit, I'm just a dense motherfucker. I didn't realize that girl was actually into me.
Yeah.
And yeah, like because like, you know, it's like not I don't want to sound like kind of like egotistical about this, but like I'm not like a particularly bad looking guy. Like I, you know, am like I'm like not 10 out of 10. Don't get me wrong, but it's like especially, but like and let's put it this way, like by normal standards, I was fat in college. But by Mississippi standards, I was a Mississippi skinny, is why I describe it as, because of like the obesity of that state. But anyway, so it's like, even if like universally I wouldn't call myself like, a particularly attractive guy within my state, like I was, like, yeah, I was definitely like, in the higher rankings. Like I was like, like I was either like, either a B or a low A, in the Mississippi bracket. Well, maybe in terms of the whole United States, I'm going to kind of be more of a middling B, or mid
All
to
that
lower
to
B.
say.
All that to say is that there were multiple times where girls were like interested in me, and I didn't realize it and it didn't register my brain. But also part of that might have been because of the fact, well, it's two things. Number one is like I'm pretty dense at picking up on certain social cues. But second is also, even if like I'm interested in a girl, like I won't actually, like I never just go out and ask a girl out. Like, yeah, I try to actually have like some conversations to get to know their personality before I, go on a date with them. Like I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, hey bro, do you want to go on a date, and then realize I'm stuck with a psycho. Like usually it's like I try to have more like casual, social interactions before I, be like, hey, you want to, go somewhere basically, and and basically do a one-on-one, date and all that stuff. I have a really bad habit at being interested in women that turn out to be complete psychopaths. Like I luckily haven't had a date with a psycho, but I've had like group setting and like I'm interested in this girl. Girl starts talking. Girl is a complete, like it's like I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't want to be anywhere near her now.
Right.
Like that. So it's like yeah, and there was like one situation where there was one of the girls I went to class with. She was like I had two classes with her in my final semester, and she was all right, and actually we got along, and but then but she was also married, so I was like, okay, I'm not particularly interested.
Not particularly.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, because I mean, like, truth be told, I don't want to be a homewrecker. It's just like that's not really something I'm particularly interested in.
I'd say the better phrasing is immediate turn off.
All I'm saying is, if it's like it's sometimes there's particularly interested. All I'm saying here's the phrase, okay? There's like there's certain girls where I'm like, okay, yeah, you're married, whatever, and then there's other girls where all like you're in a relationship, but if she breaks up. Maybe.
Yep. Also says
So-
larnuu meets women, and once they open up to him, he leaves them.
Okay. Anyway, point being is like there were like this girl like another turn off is that she was like in a marriage that was like basically she had a kid with a guy and basically married the guy, but it wasn't kind of like she wasn't particularly happy with the marriage.
I see.
And she kind of openly said that she basically like she's like only uses him for his money, and kind of was willing to be comfortable spending a little bit extra because she's like, fuck, it's not my money, sort of thing. So kind of like I was like, that's kind of shady behavior, especially it's like kind of like I'm like thinking about the kind of like I'm a guy, you're not supposed to admit that stuff to the guy to another guy. That's kind of like just like universally bros are gonna be all like, I mean, we ain't cool with that,
No,
But the other thing too is it's like years later I was thinking about, I'm like, oh shit, she was actually into me. Like fuck, like if I actually wanted to be a homewrecker, I could have easily been one.
Yeah, it is interesting when you think about those things. I mean, there's certain contexts where I don't know. I try not to too much because I personally believe that there's someone out there for me specifically, and so every time I'm able to, with past experiences, it's easy to just go look and say, yeah, just a road on that path. So we'll see. But,
I don't know. Like my big thing is it's just like I will admit that one of my bigger issues in that whole entire thing too is it's like, I'm not really particularly like on a Cringe Channel style love quest or anything like that. Like I'm not actively trying to actually be in the dating scene or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which in some ways it's probably like I should probably not be doing that, but in other ways though it's like truth be told, there's just like there's other things I'm kind of more concerned with in my life, and
Yeah,
kind of
no,
like
and it kind of dating intentionally is kind of a job. Like it really is. It's something you do have to kind of put your time into. So if you don't have the time for it right now, you're better off just not thinking about it and focusing
yeah,
on.
it's kind of more of like I guess the best way to describe it is it's kind of like I'm less in like a being like, oh, I need to go and date babes. It's more of like kind of like it's more of a concern because so kind of this is how I've explained it before. So um I basically for the longest time I didn't give a shit about like what basically I just was like wanted to eat food that tasted good, and if it's like if I gained a little weight, I was like I don't care if I gain weight, I don't give a shit.
Yep.
But then one day I woke up and I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh, I feel awful, and then I was like, oh shit, I'm fat. Basically, like I had the day where I woke up and I was like, fuck, I don't like looking like this. I don't like feeling like this. But for the longest time I didn't give a shit. But then one day I cared, and
Yeah.
in some level I'm afraid that's kind of going to be me again with also kind of like a relationship where I'm like in a situation where like I don't care about it for all these years. Like I'm more worried about trying to like advance my career and all that stuff. So worried about skill building, all that stuff. But then one day I wake up and I realize, oh wait, I never put any focus on that. And that's a problem. But at the same time, though, it's also kind of hard to put effort in when I'm not at a point where I necessarily care too. Is the big thing because it's like
Yeah.
I don't really have like a internal drive for that, and it's also like if you want to do a deeper dive on my psychology compared to like kind of like normal thought process type things, like I'm a lot less sex driven than a lot of other guys. Like,
Yeah.
just be told. So it's just like it's like I talk to like a lot of guys, and then they're like worried about getting the babes and all that type of stuff, and I'm just kind of a little bit of like, you know, just be told like
Sorry, I'm playing with the
okay.
Rouge the Bat figure. Like I'm cool.
Bad, but no, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying like there's people like my desire for, some people like I guess the best way to describe it is like I have more of a desire to do certain things for my life than basically, and that stuff is kind of more secondary or even tertiary to me. Being aside, that being said, though, like kind of why you fumbled me a little bit is because I actually do own a Ridge of Bat faction.
I was listening to a stream recently where you talked about.
Yeah, I know it's so stupid. That's like there's very few things that I'm kind of a little bit of like usually I'm pretty comfortable about being like I like this, I don't care. Like if it's like judge me whatever, I like it, it's mine type of thing. But that's like one of the few things where I'm a little bit like I'm not really necessarily like I'm like, do I put that on my shelf or not? Because like I mean like I did want this thing, but at the
It's
same time
Sonic.
I also
If you got all the other Sonic stuff, it's like fine. If
Yeah,
it was the
I
only
think-
thing on your shelf, it would look weirder. But if it's with all the other Sonic stuff, who cares?
Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, what's funny is I was talking to Bryce Bell a little bit, and
Yeah.
like he has like a really interesting collection where he collects action figures, but he only does like one in a couple. He doesn't like collect full lines stuff.
Yeah.
And guess what's like the one Sonic figure he has on his shelf?
The Rouge.
It's like like he sent me a photo of like it was Rouge, Jar Jar Binks, and Skeletor all next to one another. I'm like, yes, the new picks. I'm like that's. Like if you're gonna have like that's like the best way to ever display a Rouge figure. Like I actually got on my way to get a Jar Jar and a Skeletor just so I can get that set up.
Yeah. Also, we've been getting some funny comments in the midst of this, or interesting at least. Studio Mock said, "Hey, Cal, do you, Larnuu, or IDS play any instruments? If so, you guys should either a cryo show or Paraga rap cover." Well,
We tried to do a Creeping My Soul cover a while back.
yeah, we were messing with that. It was not, song is completely out of my range, so it didn't work on that level. And I actually,
we need to get.
what's funny is
I
I have a friend of Elizabeth now who would probably be perfect for that. She's got a very operatic voice. She would kill it.
That's cool.
And I was hanging out with them and I played Creeping My Soul like a couple weeks back just because we were talking about Bionicle stuff. So that was fun.
I could kill talking to Bionicle with the babes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
She's a good friend.
yeah.
But also, Oso did a really weird hypothetical. I want to see Callan become 13 again with all his memories up to this point retained and see how that affects him. It would definitely throw me for a loop in that, like, now I'm in a place where I'm ready to kind of move on with my life and, you know, accept a lot of adult responsibilities and stuff like that. But at the same time, as far as a lot of my, it would give me the perfect excuse to be like, you know, I think I could just, you know, redo this. Accumulated 20,000 subscribers with all this Bionicle stuff. Now I can just kind of keep doing it more. I could kill another 7 years and then I don't know. That would be weird. I don't know how much that would throw me off, make me go crazy.
I would be okay with honestly, like I'd be okay with that scenario because personally, because like I think I could use that more time. Like I would just I'd just be like, oh cool, I know Blender now. But then also like no, I couldn't do that because some of the tools I use nowadays weren't even developed yet. So I would be like.
Isn't the point that you would, if you just, it's like tomorrow you wake up, you're 13 again, everything else is the same. Like the weirdest things would be your relationship with your family. Yeah, you don't go back in time. Oh, well,
okay.
I guess it would depend. We should ask Oso. Which one does he prefer?
Because like the whole time travel thing actually throws that whole entire thing off like significantly.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Oso. Which were you thinking time travel? We just teleport back to our age 13 bodies, or we just wake up at age 13 now? And because it seems like a better deal, the latter, but because you basically get an extra 12, in my case 12 years of life, but whatever. Also, while we wait for him to clarify that, we should probably clarify that both Cage and I have limited keyboard piano experience. So
yeah, I did like piano like from like basically like second or third grade throughout high school, but then I moved on to doing music composition rather than live playing as I got older.
Yeah, so he could definitely arrange lots of things digitally, and I can play okay-ish on the piano. I'm working on it a little bit more lately because
you can actually use two hands still though. Like I completely lost that ability.
Well,
like,
it's just
like I'm still pretty ambidextrous in other ways.
It's more so that I memorize pieces with two hands that I just have really gotten them down. But yeah, I do my best anyway.
I mean, that's kind of just playing piano, like playing piano in general is literally just training one hand.
A lot of it is memorization, but there's definitely a level of improv when you really know keys well enough to know all the basic chords down. You can do a lot of improv, flaring up of certain things.
Yeah. Which that's like the type of stuff that gets me personally with it, that like I'm not as and like that's kind of one of the reasons why I kind of didn't stick with playing music as much hold on a second again. I'm sorry, this is fucking annoying to hear, but like when I sometimes get mildly distracted in what I'm doing, so I have to focus. Yeah, so like what gets me with it really is just like the amount of practice that goes into playing all the instruments into music and all that type of stuff. It's like it would not be that bad if music was all I did. It's like if you're trying to do music and game programming and editing and all that type of stuff, it's like, okay, you just need to draw the line somewhere. And I like writing music more than I actually like playing it too, because it's like kind of like I have much more interest in being a creator than a performer or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, even in a business setting too, it's like I don't like selling products. I like building products more. If I was to use like a cooking analogy, I could I'm much more comfortable with being a chef than a waiter. Yeah, I like actually making things and making new things is like a lot more fulfilling, and also where my natural talents and interests lie compared to like just saying like, oh yeah, do you want the thing? Like how much do you want for the thing? Do you need this? Do you need that? Like managing type stuff. Which yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. There's definitely a healthy level to that. I do think that a lot of times having one instrument under your belt, and then masterminding and like writing lots of music really helps. But when it comes to making digital music, you've clearly shown you could do a lot without even that. So
Yeah, it's like I definitely recommend like it's like if you want to do music production, like you definitely should at least pick up piano. Like I would argue that if because it's like piano is like again it's like aside from the fact that you have to use two hands to play it, that's the part that makes piano a nightmare of an instrument. But aside from that, the keyboard is great. Like as I got like older recently, like my go-to instrument of choice actually if I just want to pick up and play something, because like I still occasionally want to do that, and just not as much anymore. It's actually the Melodica, which if you listen to a lot of Gorillaz music, you've heard it in quite a few tracks. It's like the harmonica sounding thing and stuff like that.
That's sick.
And
that sounds sick.
Yeah, that thing is great because of the fact that a harmonica is actually pretty difficult for me at least to wrap my brain around because it's not as visual. But
and you have very limited range in what you can play on a harmonica. Like you need different kinds of harmonicas to play certain songs and certain.
I actually own a whole box of all the harmonicas in the different keys. But it's
That's
just
cool.
I actually was trying to learn how to play harmonica for a bit, but then melodica ultimately the problem with melodica, I will say, is that first off, it's not really necessarily an indoor instrument. It can be kind of annoying if you it's hard to record correctly, but it's actually pretty fun. And I just remember now, actually, I did do a cover on Keypunk's of Aquatic Ruin Zone from Sonic with my melodica. So if you actually want to hear me play the melodica, like I have it there, but also I used a lot of my good my audio, basically my music production skills to also clean it up a bit and splice together the best takes, so it makes it sound a lot better than I am.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I linked it in let me see if the link works here. I don't know. It's one of those links. Linked it on with the Geekbunk's channel. You can listen to it if you want to hear me actually play something and see the fast forward footage of the trial and error.
Okay. Yeah. If there's a link to it on Qpunks?
Yeah. I dropped in this Discord.
Discord.
I mean, not Discord. Sorry. No. I meant I said Discord. I meant stream chat.
Stream chat. Okay, cool. Yeah, people should be able to see that soon. Then. Cool.
Yeah. Did you ever see that one, or did you not listen to it?
Which one?
Me playing the melodica to the Sonic song.
I think I don't remember I don't remember seeing a visual component of you actually playing something, but I want to say I remember hearing the audio of it.
The background is just like fast forward footage of me working on it, and
I think I did see that. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Also, Oso did clarify his comment, saying that he'll give you the Blender tools. I basically said what I would do if I were to just gain those 12 years. I'd basically just probably go a little crazy, but just kind of reset and just try and make the most of my teen years again. Making more Bionicle stuff and I don't know.
I'd argue that probably I'd be a little bit. Okay, see, this is the thing I don't like about the hypothetical that does mess with you a bit, where it's just kind of a little bit, like my main thing would be like, obviously I would use that time to basically use the skill that I had, but also I'm like, oh wait, I'm actually a few decades ahead of like other people literally, so like I can actually kind of be more lax about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like a lot. So like I would probably focus on kind of doing like in terms of like work stuff. Like I'd probably actually sit down and actually try to be mature and do some and actually try to understand more business minded stuff too. But also I was thinking like, oh yeah, no, I could use that time and actually be more social again and all that type of stuff. But I'm like, I can't do that when I'm 13 because that's just creepy if I'm just like just like a 23-year-old man in a 13-year-old's body just hanging out with other kids. That just doesn't work.
Yep.
It just like that's just, yeah. So it's like you literally have to wait till like your college age again for it to be there, because like even though it's still a little weird, it's less weird if you're like you were 23, turned back to 13, and then you wait till you are like, like at least like 18 or 21 to hang out again. Like everybody's like, oh yeah, you might technically be like in your 30s, but it's like, who really cares? Like a lot of times you have that 1 30-year-old guy with the college kids anyways.
Yep. Also, Justin Gamer said the real question is, would you go back to being 13 with all your memories back to when Bionicle was around with all the money you have now? Yes. And then I just buy a bunch of sealed sets. And
Yeah, I would definitely. I definitely. Should, yeah, the aftermarket, like right when Bionicle ended, was like at its best. So it's like no one cared about it anymore. Like right when it died. So. It had to wait.
Right now, secondhand value stuff is more expensive than it's ever been.
Yeah, it's because it's like it's.
I know that's
the
a lot of
franchise.
inflation, but
It's also a vintage mark too. It's like when something is vintage, it's like people give a shit. It's like it has that higher attributed value.
That's true. Yeah. Like Brutaka is such a hard one to come by now at a good price these days. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm lucky. I just kind of happened doing Brutaka. Like I got like one of the last good shop Goodwill hauls before that site just became too inflated.
Yeah, that's gotten crazy. Also, did you know I mentioned this to IDS the other day? There's a new Ninjago set that has pearl gold Borak eyes, and it's the first set since 2006 to produce a piece in that color.
That's good.
Yeah,
it does mess with the Borak eyes. Are like one of the few things that people like still like embraces as like a common element.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Also, for context, only 2 sets in 2006 had that: Brutaka and a Knight's Kingdom castle set. Oh.
Yeah, it's yeah, I definitely there's a lot of I don't know, man. Like, man, Bionicle is just I don't know. I'm hoping at some point I can get money to just buy that fucking franchise back.
Also, quick joke from Oso: Melodica cover of "Enter the Shadman."
Did they ever make that? Is that a song? Did anybody make the Shadman?
Enter the Shadman. It should be, Cage. You should make it.
Yeah, just do like Enter the Ninja from the Antwood. You know that song, right?
How about Against the Ninja from what's it? Miami Connection.
Maybe.
Against the Ninja. Against the Ninja.
I still love the Friends Together. The end.
That song is amazing. Loyalty, honesty, we're on top and we play to win. That's one we should totally. We should.
Yeah, I would love to do a cover of that song.
That would be sick.
It's like the thing is, it's like this, this is going to be kind of like like going to sound cringe because I get like people complaining about rap always like comes across as just kind of like get over it, old man type of thing, but it's like.
Yep.
I think there's a reason why, like a lot, like if you just want to do like rap covers of things, it's easier because since rap is all percussion and has no melodic element to it, it's like it's easier to basically collaborate with people because it's just like you don't have to. It's easier for like basically the production, like the music writing, to harmonize with it. No, like if you want to sing "Creeping in My Soul," you have to have the right vocal range for it. But if you want to rap the proper rap, I mean, you can basically just do it at any vocal range you want. You can be like, "Let's go to an island" or whatever it sounds.
Yep.
My favorite line in no, I sing it in St. Bionicle Brain. Sorry. My favorite line in St. Bionicle Brain though is "Got my boys linking out." The phrase "got my boys linking" is such a good line. It's so stupid.
They all link together to "We shall not be broken."
Well, also I was thinking maybe like it's probably definitely a Lego thing, but I'm also thinking like a Kiata thing.
You
also just sounds like somebody's connecting testicles and that just sounds wrong.
Oh man, penis touching and Bionicle, dude, come on.
That's your new stream highlight title. It's the title is called that, and then it's like, and you just have like one of the characters crossing their arms, go, "Come on," with the thought bubble, "Come on, dude."
Yep. Also, this is such a simple question. I'm sorry we keep missing it, but please, best Bionicle launcher, Bumble Blitz has asked. It's the Might X Sky Blaster. Done, easy.
my next Sky Blaster for overall function, best use for Titan sets. Best launcher though for like every other scale, like not counting vehicles or Titans, like Toem and Torn scale sets. I really can't figure it out because it's a toss up between Disc Launcher or Zamisphere. Because
You
like
know what's
Zam,
underrated? The throw arms.
yeah.
The throw arms are actually way better than the disc launchers as far as power.
But the problem with the throw arms is like the tension on them, especially for the Tonga throw arms, that basically it causes breakage. So
Yeah.
um, that's like the main thing. Like I will say my least favorite launcher like is yeah, I would actually say the Rudoka with the
Rotuka.
spinners. What's
Rotuka.
Ruduka? Rutuka. The
Yeah.
Rutuka spinners like are my least favorite
Over
like
squid
launcher and all that.
launcher?
Oh yeah, even forgot Squid Launcher existed. Okay,
I'll give you
not
a
counting
second
Squid.
place, but it's way better than squid launcher, even though
I
there's
will
no
say
aiming.
okay. So basically, yeah, I forgot this. There's this Squid Launcher exists, but here's the thing, though I will say about Rutuka though is that like too many times, I tried to spin that thing and it doesn't fly off, and then also the
Mm,
Rahago were advertised as basically having helicopter, like they just flew with them,
yeah.
like in the movie. But
Mm,
then like the set form, if you try to actually do it, like I always got the Rahaga Ratukas flying easier than the Toa Ratukas, so it's like it
mm.
was backwards to me compared to how it was supposed to be in the movie.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's it. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I as far as them serving their gimmick, I thought they worked. It's a fun gimmick, but yeah, I agree with you in that it's one of the worst launchers because one of the main functions of a launcher is to hit more or less what you're aiming at, and there's
Yeah.
no aiming component to those at all. So it's a fun little gimmick, but
That's
yeah.
as stupidly far distance though. You have to give it
Yeah, no,
that.
no, no. That's the thing. That's why I say it's fun. If I'm judging it as a fun launcher, I'd probably actually put it in like the top 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about actual launcher, yeah, it's like second worst.
Jordax launcher is probably like the most practical in terms of scale and usage, basically, because it's like it's a really versatile, like just simple build and all that type of stuff, and it's like you just squeeze it, the thing flies out, so it's like has the function of like basically the problem with the Xamasphere is that basically if you have that, it doesn't do well at all angles because the marble can fall out the top. And then for what I don't like about the discs is that the discs just kind of they're just so big and clunky that they kind of just tend to look a little awkward, on some builds. It's like it's not as universal of a launcher piece.
Yep.
So the
Also,
Thornax thing,
so,
that
I
that
was
one
just
was
gonna
like
say
the
real quick, bye, Justin Gamer. Thank you. You have engaged in the chat a lot. We appreciate you. But yeah, good
later gamer.
thing.
But yeah, I will do like I don't know. It's like I do think that's like a like the Hero Factory used the Zamasphere launcher better than the Gotorians, though I will say.
Yeah, technically. Yep, they did a good job. I think
If
it's
if
like
you had like Hero Factory sets with Thornax, then if they count, then yeah. But if they don't count, then the Thornax gets lower on the list.
yeah. It's also weird to me that like lore wise, as far as the squid launchers, they're literally one of them. They're designed around only one of them. Who only one of them logically would use a squid launcher, but the rest of them just have them because he's like, hey guys, can you use this weapon I made? They're like,
Yeah.
okay.
I kind of like some of them are kind of like a lot of the launcher stuff feels kind of more secondary to like a lot of the sets in terms of design
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
Like for example the Nika like actually so like the Proc I always have them holding their launchers, but the Nika I almost never have them holding their launchers.
Yeah, and it makes
Uh,
sense too because the Paraka literally used them to enslave all the Matoran. Like that's the main purpose of all their ammo. With the
Also,
Toa, it's
they're
just
also their arms stupid too. If
yeah,
they have a fucking get part, like
that is
if you
unfortunate.
don't. Actually, that's like the only thing I dislike about my Paraka, but like I've been able to like get duplicate sets over the years, so I just fix the arm like to make them symmetrical.
Yeah. Yep, it's pretty easy to do, and it looks better than the Hordika when you fix them to make their arms symmetrical.
Yeah, the Hordeca just like I just really hate the arms on the Hordeca. It's just like I can never get happy with them, so that's the reason why they're my least favorite canister. Like
Telecanister.
the thing is, it's like I would say like it's my least favorite canisters. I know that like some people are like it's heresy to say, oh, I don't like Mari. I mean the Baraki. Sorry, it's like some people like are really big Baraki lovers and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I just don't get into them. Like I just I don't know. It's just like I don't like them.
They're a little weaker. They are weaker, yeah.
It's like you have great sets like Takedox and all that type of stuff, but then you get like shit that like Prydac in there, which I think is objectively the worst canister set ever made.
Yeah, he's pretty
bad.
He's not good, but
so it's like
even as far as like a cross mold, I would argue as far as the injecting of two colors in one piece, like it's one of the lamer examples of G1 as well. With even though it's supposed to be, it should be really cool having like red that looks like blood, but it doesn't really look like blood that much to me, and it just looks, I don't know, I'm not crazy about it. Makes me think more of G2, because then, and it's a shame too, because literally not half a year later they do a great version of that with Jalamari's mask, which does have that multi. It's like it looks so good on that mask that you kind of don't even register the fact that the bottom of it's orange and then the top of it's dark red. It just looks great.
Yeah, no, Jalamari's mask is like like if you were to get like a mask tier list, like just like not even like molds, like just definitive like mold and color combinations, like Jalamari is like S tier.
Yeah,
like it's like if I didn't have both of if I didn't have the ability to have both versions of Jalar built, like I would literally just have like keep my Jalar and Mari build and not my Nika. Even though they're like objectively Jalar Mari should be worse because it's so much more of a rehash compared to any of the other Maris. It's just like just so much cooler. It's just like it's hard to fully verbalize.
Yep. Justin Gamer, but it's still living Rahi that you what? This is kind of far out, but does anyone remember the Bionicle game back in 2007 on the website? It was called Squid Odyssey, and I really can't recall nor comprehend the gameplay. Oh, is he doing a Worm Odyssey joke? I don't know. Speaking of which, we probably should get to mess around with that, since we've been going for like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, let me pull that up in a second.
I'm gonna switch to a screen share format.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Not a screen share, a web page.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you the link and then tell you the on Skype, and I'll tell you the rundown of what everybody's looking at. Yeah. So there's a guy. So Voodoo Jin, an animator, who made a animation that was mock-up of a gameplay for a hybrid between WarioWare, but actually not hybrid, a parody of WarioWare, but using Oniplay's cast members and all that stuff. And he did one specifically of Zachary Hadel doing and basically made a bunch of WarioWare skits and story based off of his based off of things that Zach said on the Let's Play show. So if you guys aren't familiar with Oniplays, you might be a little bit lost on some of the contextual things, but at the same time, though, I mean, it's like we kind of, I don't know, it's like we're big enough fans that I feel like kind of a little bit like.
There's definitely some overlap as far as, especially the people who show up for streams. So.
Yeah, I mean, people in general who have interest in just animation in general at least should have a passing familiar with Oniplays at this point. If not, like, if that's not the case, then you guys should definitely check them out, or just solely just so you can get some of the context on this. It's not like they're in need of a shout out from fucking us, but I would recommend them. It's like the one, like I would say, like Oniplays and Super Mega are like the only two like dedicated Let's Play things that I'm actually into still. So yeah.
But it's fair because they're very conversational heavy as opposed to we got to play the game and make it like really good gameplay.
Yeah, and it's like it's definitely like more of it's definitely more comparable to a comedy podcast, but it's also like the humor is definitely really strong. It's if any of you were familiar with Sleepy Cabin from back in the day, basically it's most of the same people on the show were featured in Sleepy Cabin, so it's basically more or less the successor to that whole project. Yeah. the whatchamacallit, what I so anyway, yeah, so like Voodoogen, like I reached out to him, and the animator who made this, and made the fan animation, and I said, hey, if you let's work together. He was looking for programmers to basically work with for the game, so he's been doing that. It's he's like directing the project and all that type of stuff. I've been working on it. It's actually technically, funny enough, it's actually a paid project too. So I don't know. I feel like maybe that's like worth just disclosing to people, being all like that I'm not doing this for free, but I did get permission to share the work. So I'm not doing that. But yeah, it's a paid work, but it's not like I'm just doing this because I need to get paid. Like I actually am. I try not to do that with stuff I work on, regardless. But so yeah. Anyway, the game is it's made quite a bit of progress. I got a good majority of the micro games built. The main like transitional scene where like it hosts and tell you like which round number and all that is, there's no graphics for it. Also, the micro games that have not been completed have it just uses there's like a singular micro game that's a consistent placeholder for it. And we also the menus and also the winning cutscene they need to be fleshed out. So you're looking at less than a week's work. It's pretty good for less than a week, but it's also not what I would describe as a completed title.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, running this off my stupid Mac, it looks like all the streaming is really slowing down the loading of this game.
yeah. It kind of like us maybe like I don't know how interesting this is. Literally say shut the fuck up if it's not interesting. But what I did do with the game is basically to what I found is that like if you want to make a game that basically has more of a fun experience, if you have a video game and your game basically doesn't load, it's not loading. If your game doesn't, if your game takes a while to boot up, but then it boots up and it just stays with consistently good performance, people are more forgiving of that than a game that has like constant and incremental it's like okay, hold on, okay, go, hold on, go. So it's like when optimizing the game, I made it load like as much of the data I can in the front before like you even start playing the game. So like when you're playing the game, you don't deal with the intermittent load times. And if also I didn't do it that way, then it would like every single time you'd return to like the micro games level, like it would have to like reload all the micro games every single time you wanted to hit play. But after it loads once in your browser, as long as you have that tab open, you don't need to reload it. Gotcha. Also, Godot does cache into your memory too, so like once you play a game and you return to the game, the loading times do get fixed significantly. So that's
Also, learn to be in the duties coding the Oniware game is the biggest plot twist crossover of my week. Hello, half the people that left when you started talking about the game. That's not true. We've been fluctuating at a little bit lower for the last half hour or so. But we've actually had upwards of like 20 people at points. So it's actually been a pretty decently engaged stream. The next time, sometimes we're not as good about engaging with them, but to be fair, half the time they're just asking us like, what's a poggers mean or something. I don't know. That's not true.
To be fair, I don't know. To be fair, I feel like that's a pretty common for the.
It's sometimes, yeah.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is like I'm not afraid to saying you stupid if somebody says 21.
Yeah, you stupid. It's true. Hey, it loaded. Yep. All right. Here, I'm gonna hit play.
Yeah.
I think the audio should play. But
there isn't any audio added in the game yet, so aside from like just the cutscene stuff.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, which just cutscene, like the cutscenes, like I'll try to get them more optimized, but it's like the one thing I don't like about the cutscenes in the current form is that like the video player, like it sometimes needs to buffer certain things, but I wish it gave me more like the amount of time that lets you buffer a video is like not enough. I feel like sometimes I'm testing, I'm like, I really wish it's more than 1,000 milliseconds. You know, I wish it could be like I wish it could literally say buffer video for 5 seconds before playing.
Yep. Yeah. So, well, yeah, unfortunately, as you were saying that, the game just kind of started because the sound was going kind of crazy on the cutscene. But people were able to see the levels, and I'm trying to kind of play them at a different pace so that if they've seen the original video, they can kind of see that I do have control over the characters. It's not just playing.
There's also I did program like losing scenarios too. So if like specifically the Sasquatch game show off the losing scenario in that one, and I think people get a kick out of that. So Sasquatch has I'll just like pull up real quick like which ones have an interesting losing scenario. So Sasquatch has interesting losing. What else has a good one?
I did the losing for the Einstein pig physics.
That one, it's like the final version, he's going to turn around and he's going to have a pig face is going to be but that needs to be drawn yet. So Peter Schmidt also, it's going to have a failed fusion for that one, but it hasn't been drawn yet. Like so far, all the extra assets that need to be drawn for the failure states, like I just worked with like assets that I could already use. So like a good example being like the Sasquatch game, like I was able to animate without him having to draw anything now.
Yep. Zach's house, yes. It's in the game, and it looks like his face, which is also a reference to them on a Worm stream, I think, talking to Worm's game, talking about how they all have houses that look like their faces.
Yeah, I mean, I do love that trope in like cartoons that literally it just does that. Like, I don't know why they do that, like in everything. Like, also, like, have you noticed that, or have you not played anything that does that trope?
Which trope?
Like the cartoon character, like in a lot of video games, they actually will have the cartoon, like a character's house looks like their head, like Snowboard Kids from Atlas, and like even Sonic Battle actually did do that, which
I feel like that's more of a villain trope, isn't it? As far as like the bad guys having evil bases that look like themselves.
It's a trope with both, but like in video games, they do it just for everybody, just like regardless who it is. If it's part of a cartoony world, they'll just go ahead and go for it. Yeah,
I guess that's true. Also, people were talking about his little video, which is funny, and some of the lines in that. Studio Mock said, Larnuu, you were earlier saying there are Baraki lovers. So do Baraki furries exist? Where's your source, Larnuu?
My source is shut up. You don't know anything. It's that's based Shapiro,
Bubbleblood says, I hope the failed Peter Schmidt fusion will have the Family Guy laying ground pose. What?
I'm actually gonna recommend that to the guy.
That's actually a good idea. Just have Peter Schmidt go, ow.
just that audio from the fall over thing. Yeah, I've been I've been trying to keep my have some input on the creative stuff, but I don't want to overstep my bounds. Sure. It's like the most I did was I kind of just went ahead and did this. I just went ahead and programmed this to lose animation thing for Sasquatch, even though that wasn't even though the guy was like, oh, I need to figure out what I need to do for that one. I just put that together and just showed him, and he's like, oh, I like it, but let's just use that. So, and I just built it to kind of goof off. I needed a break from working on that because I went pretty hard for a couple of days, and then I realized yesterday I was actually getting I was actually having work fatigue from working on it, and I'm just kind of I need to just take tomorrow off, or I'm going to risk burnout.
Yeah. Is there any timing as far as the worms beep, or do you just have to spit the video?
No, it's literally just hit. There you go. Yeah. I think the only game that I feel like I'm particularly I need to fix this on is that For Fusion, I feel like we get like sometimes I feel like I hit yes, but though I don't, but the timing isn't you know uh, correct.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good way to describe it. So like it kind of so I need to figure out how to get basically the have it be a little bit more flexible because sometimes I feel like I hit it once it says go and I was too early.
Yep.
So yeah.
It's definitely
Um,
it definitely is fun that you get to figure out how to, or together you get to figure out how the winning screen is gonna go.
yeah. Um, Yeah, also, one thing too is it's like this sounds really stupid, but I need to learn how to make any like just a press any button thing for Godot because there's a couple times where I've had inputs where I try to press something and it just like doesn't do it for things and yeah. Also, just playing through it real quick. The Red Jewel game, I do need to make this space bar be the proper jump button. I am going to though, like for this game though, like I am actually going to go far enough to actually put gamepad support on it.
That's cool.
So like yeah, so if so like if you so even though all the prompts say A for it, it's like and hit spacebar for A. It's like and like the final game, you will be able to plug in a real controller.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So
Okay, he said no. I meant the pose they will fall when they fall down with their hand over their back. But whatever you interpreted was good too. I guess maybe. Wait, I guess he's saying that like if they fall over, or if you did. I don't know how many frames you'd have to do for that, but I guess he's kind of implying that like when they try and do the dance, you could just cut to them both on the ground, and while the dad could just be drawn with whatever, you have to have Peter with his like hand on his knee going ah.
yeah, what's
We'll see.
I'm thinking about it. It's like what's interesting about this is that the programming. One of the reasons why it was easier for me to, get like as much as I did is that I went for like the easier micro games first before doing harder ones. Just kind of working my way up.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is like what I found was that I was able to get a lot of these games working more as like animation trigger sequences rather than like full blown like physics engine simulations because like the only thing that I would argue that has like any like programming, I guess, rather than just sequencing, because there's like there's programming and there's sequencing, at least in my head. It's like there's if you're making a character like I mean if you're having a character move like in a platformer game, that's programming. But then if you have like the Peter Schmidt, press A at the right time, that's more sequencing. So and I might. The thing is, like, I'm mixed because on one hand, like, I like showing too much of my work. Like, I like just blabbing about what I do.
Yeah.
So it's like I kind of want to show off, like, oh yeah, hey, here's how I programmed this, how I programmed that. But I'm a little bit like maybe I need to keep my secrets because I don't want to, air out all my secrets. Can I?
No, it's fun to talk about other things, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Especially since
because it's like I'm cool talking about like in the stream context, but like going to specifics, like that's like what I'm like, yeah, I just can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I will say for now is, guys, if you want to make a WarioWare style game in Godot, learn the animation player node and figure out like basically get comfortable using that thing. And the animation player basically like is basically the most useful tool I've used in this project.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like I will elaborate though. Like this is what I feel comfortable talking about. But what I like about the animation player in Godot is that it helps kind of like it's like a good in-between tool between like kind of like translating a lot of my skill set I've learned from video editing to game making, because of the fact that if you know how to set up the triggers correctly, you can actually get all the timing right and actually have certain things planned out. And since you're working with like a video style timeline, like all my Adobe Premiere knowledge is basically translated over to video games by using that tool.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Peter Schmidt. Peter, my father did the fusion dance.
I do like the big drink. It's that's legitimately, I will say, one of the funniest jokes in all of Wayne Plays is literally just the fact that they
That whole
literally just come
episode.
up with that. Yeah, it's just like it's such a, I don't know, like the weird way to describe it is it's like what makes that show work well is that like a lot of the funniest moments are when the character when their time is being wasted inside by a video game, you know.
Yep.
Like if you have like a like so much of like the best moments from Yeek was just like from them having to deal with the tedium of the game. Like they literally had episodes where they were dealing with the battle system and just yelling at it, and it just came out so well. Like it's so weird. It's weird because it's like kind of a little bit of like, even when you pay attention to their comments, which yes, I'm going to do a dissection on. I know he plays this a Let's Play show, but listen,
No, there's
like,
they have some really funny improv stuff. So
yeah, I mean, it sounds kind of silly, but it's like, listen, like I'm like, if I'm working on this fan game project, I need to have at least a deeper level of analysis looking into it. And what I find really interesting is that there's this common thread of like that they kind of like are like, oh yeah, this is going to get cut. This gameplay is boring and all that type of stuff. But then but it leads them to have like a really funny conversation that ends up becoming like one of their most iconic moments, even though like the moment in gameplay is just like the stupidest thing. Like Big Penny, for example, happened during like one of the most tedious things ever in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
They just start talking.
Yeah, they were just it's true. Also,
which I think is.
We had a question real quick. We had a question from Bubble Blitz. He said, "Would you do a stream highlight even if only 2 of you were on the stream?" The answer is yes. I have done that before. The only thing is,
with IDS a lot, and not much with Cage.
There is one with you. What's funny is that I still like there are good conversations with the 2 of you primarily. There aren't a ton that I've animated for whatever reason. Feel free to link me any, because it's not out of a specific bias that I have to be in them. It just so happens that for the most of them I'm present, since they're mostly my streams that I'm animating. But yeah, generally there have been a few. The early ones I did with basically IDS and I only, because that was a time when Cage was still in college. So when we were doing streams on the Great Furnace, Cage literally wasn't there. And then there's one primary example I could think of where IDS had to leave the stream early, and we hung out for a bit longer. And I did animate a bit from that one where it was just Cage and I. But I always want the 3 of us depicted as there. I like if one of them doesn't speak, I just depict us doing some other thing, like Cage playing Switch or IDS drawing or looking at his phone. So that's the.
I like when I go down then to the very south, and I'm trying to pick up nice ladies, I look at them and I go, hoggers.
Hoggers. Poggers. I love the Chuck E. Cheese poggers thing. It's great.
Yeah, like what's weird is like, I will say, because it's like about the like a lot of those animators, is like Brandon Turner was one of my least favorite animators for that type of shit, but then he turned into one of my favorites. It's so weird how like some of these guys like are like I'm like, hey, you're kind of but then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, you know what, thumbs up on you. Like Greg Zola, for example, was like, I'm like, oh, this guy, I hate this guy's art, but then he became but then he stuck with it long enough that I'm like, oh, you know what, thumbs up, pretty good.
Also, is the googly style the norm for stream highlights now? I actually got to be honest, 100% no, because I mean, I could, if I really got used to it, I probably could do more. I've wanted to do one more. I actually planned to make another googly highlight as like the last one I would do this weekend, but not only was this week a little bit busy, I just didn't feel inspired to do it in that style for a lot of the clips that I have on standby, in part because I literally had to put my camera on a blanket to get it lower enough, which kind of inhibited a lot of the comfortable standard of how I do a lot of these. Like I usually like press the buttons on the camera to make sure the frames all look good. That's literally impossible for me to do that if it's resting on a shirt, because I'm gonna bump it. It's just guaranteed gonna get bumped. So I have to trust that there's no like light flicker on some of those, which is frustrating.
You should get you should just get a tripod for that.
Yeah, like one that was lower to the ground. I really should, but I don't know. Like the other things too is that the figures are so limited in posability. Even though the phase things were fun, it's just really not as fun. I'm not gonna say I'll never do them ever again. In fact, I do want to do one more googly one, but generally, it's just so much. I feel much more inspired to do them as like smaller Bionicle figures, because it's more what I'm used to. So I will do one more for sure of the googly eyes, but I got to find the right clip. This is epic. I know all
These guys.
Also, he says, this is epic. I know all of the references, but what is the worm singing on my way from again?
I really forget which one it is, but it's
Yeah, the worm
just like
singing on his hand.
it's just like I would like I forget. I forget.
I actually feel bad.
I'll ask the man.
I'm forgetting the specific reference. Zach dropping the things on the peanut. I know it looks like a visual reference to the cheese, the mouse game. The Tom and Jerry game. But is that just related to the Jimmy Carter peanut farm?
Oh, it's like he's just trying. I think it's just like he's just souring the peanuts, like with a crop duster.
Gotcha. But he's using like, yeah, the orange corn pieces look like, or sorry, the orange little cheese kind of pieces look like the Tom and Jerry game. So I don't know.
I could ask him. It's like, I mean, like there's like a lot of there's a couple things in there that like I kind of like. I'll admit, like pig physics didn't like the joke for pig's physics didn't register in my head for the longest time. And then when I did, I felt like an idiot.
Yeah, that one does make sense, but it's not like the earlier parts. That's like the last bit they make with the pig physics things. Like earlier, they're just doing like.
Well, it's more importantly being like I was looking at the gameplay. I'm like, okay, how do I why like what's the win and lose condition? I didn't realize you're just supposed to spell the word pig, and and when I realized that, it's like, oh, okay, I'm an idiot.
Oh, I didn't even get that either. Just the G. I didn't realize there was a P and an I on the board. Now I gotta look again.
It's just like oh no, it's like the equation says pi equals, and you're just supposed to get G, and then there you go. It's like you got it.
Oh, pi equals. That's fine.
Yeah. I like when I programmed it, like I mean when I worked on it, like I didn't tell the guy this, but like one of the liberties I went ahead to do is like I actually tinted the rest of the drawing on the chalkboard to different colors so you could tell which what you were looking at easier, because I felt like not doing it that way was it was too confusing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. One thing I do want to do in the game, because of the fact that it's like the game isn't going to only be Zach and like for its like release, and if we do more, we'll see for there. But like for now, like all that's that's being committed. Like the current goal, the current vision, the current objective is to do just do what was animated already into a functioning video game. What I do plan on doing though is because in the animation you see that there's like a Oni level that's there, but it goes past it and goes up to Zach's level. I was going to add in this thing where if you select Oni's level, like the little icons on the character selection screen just moves around and shifts, and it forces you to pick Zach. So if you pick Oni, like it just moves and forces you. It's like it forces you to play Zach.
Control. That's funny.
Like I was going to pitch. I need to pitch it to the guy, or just build it and see what his reaction is to it. But also, I wanted to slip into audio from the Indian man with the credit card story, and just have to what yet? Just like.
It's funny. So that is a good idea. Have you guys seen Evangelion? No, or Evangelion. I don't know how you say it. Oh look, a quaint little piggy. How quaint.
I don't know. I can't get into it personally.
Yeah, I don't feel like it either. Studio Mox? Nah, like cola more than Fanta. What?
Yeah, your favorite internet forum meme, Caleb, is that shot from the original Star Wars when Darth Vader goes, "What?"
Oh yeah, that is one of the best deliveries in all of Star Wars. The what? Yeah.
It's such a weird line, actually.
Yeah, it is great. What? Also, Etnerb showed up and said Paul McCartney. Whoa, is Paul McCartney going to be in the game cage?
Guys, I hate to break it to you, but Paul McCartney died before he could make his contribution.
Oh no. If
Wait,
you
no,
had...
it was John Lennon's one that died. Never mind.
You silly goose. What's funny is my parents are actually going to see Paul McCartney soon. So if he died like today, that would be really awkward. They'd be like, "Oh,
Your
man."
parents are going to be seeing bad music, okay?
Oh, hey, no, Paul McCartney's had some good stuff. Even
I
if
like
you don't
what?
like the Beatles, he's got Silly Little Love Song. Like Wings has a couple good songs.
I think, now, like my general opinion about the Beatles is like I can't deny their influence, but I just don't like their songs at all.
Come on, there's got to be at least
Um,
one that you like though.
for Beatles,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know. I know that
What
like Back
about
to
Let
the
It Be?
USSR.
What about Let It Be?
Oh, fucking hate it. It's
Oh,
terrible. I hate
I
it.
like that one a
I
lot.
actually get violent when I hear that song.
Oh,
Like I think like there's so many songs about the Beatles that are punchable that like literally like if I like it's literally just like like I don't get it often, but there's like this urge where you're like, if I was a high school jock and I heard a scrawny dweebus say that, I'm like, okay, into the locker you go. Let It Be
oh.
is just like full like, yeah, I'm sending somebody into the locker right now.
I know what I'm playing at your funeral.
Yeah. Let It Be, Imagine. You know, a lot of the John Lennon
Imagine
stuff really.
sucks. Yeah, I'll give you that
Yeah.
one. Imagine is
Oh, people only hate Imagine now because they're
no, but I
the
don't. I
celebrities.
never liked it. I never liked it. But George and
Are you
John are
sure?
dead in the ground. I mean, I want to say that some like as far as musically, like the piano is not bad, but like the lyrics are just so hippie crap. I don't like that. I've never liked that, and yeah, I've never listened to it enough where I had a preconceived liking of it, devoid of any of the meaning in the lyrics. So,
If you want to hear a band that like does like a lot of the same sounds that the Beatles plays around with, but actually in a way that it clicks for me, listen to Blur.
Blur.
Like I know everybody knows Song 2, but like most of their music, but most of their stuff doesn't sound like Song 2 really. Or like House in the Country and Park Life. Actually, most of the songs in the Park Life. Well, actually not Park Life, but well, yeah, no, actually, yeah, it's like the album for Park Life and also and Escape. Those two albums by Blur. Basically, it's like it has like a lot of the Beatles sounds, but also like it induces like some of like a lot of like I guess '90s element style like in rock to kind of texture it up a little bit. It's like a good contrast blend.
Indeed. Upper, downer,
You
Ruby
want to
more
talk
like
about it? I don't know, man. What sucks is like I really wish that there was like a better like platform on the internet to talk about music, but it's like talking about music it kind of gets a little frustrating for me. I feel like.
yeah. Well, I feel like it's a lot more. There's definitely a lot of room for disagreement as far as liking certain movies for sure, but I feel like taste plays so much more into different music preferences than it does into
Even
movies.
even then too, it's just kind of a little bit of like if you want to do deeper dive discussions on music, it's just kind of a little bit of like who's going to listen to like there's just not as much of a general audience for it as like there is for
And
movies.
a hard part of that is that like with movies, it's built right into the copyright system. With movies, sure there are certain studios that will, if you use too much of their footage, they'll flag you. But if you cut up a lot of their footage enough, generally there are lots of channels that can function and do lots of movie commentary type stuff without pretty fairly in the lines of free use because they're not using any of the audio or very little of the audio, and they're just using visuals. Since music is all audio, if you start pulling audio from it, even if you are only playing bits of it while talking about it, they'll flag like 2 seconds of it, and then you're
Also, when I try to talk music with other people too, it's just like I don't know. It's weird. It's like I try to talk about it, but like the genres and I'm interested in and all that stuff. It's like um, I don't know. I don't know how to say this part without sounding like a fucking like hipster and all that type of stuff. But it's just like I mean, like I love soundtracks so much. Like I listen to soundtracks a lot that if I talk about music, like I'm going to be talking about soundtracks almost more than actual bands and albums.
Yep.
And also it's like I know that like you're not supposed to play video game music when the hoes are around, but sadly like I can't deny that. I mean Listen,
No,
I
there are
have an
some really
excuse.
good video
I
game
make
scores.
I make video games, so it's an excuse. I'm not a virgin. No, no, no. I'm not a virgin.
And to be fair, yeah, video game scores, there are some really, really great ones. So
Yeah,
it's just
like and yeah. So game music is like it's something that I mean, I sincerely like care deeply about.
mhm.
And so it's yeah, I don't know. It's just like like I had a discussion recently with some guy that basically he was all like, "Oh yeah, what music are you into?" And the stuff that like I had to be polite about it, but like all the stuff the guy was saying was just kind of like shitty, like modern trap stuff. And I know again, it's cringe for it to be all like, "Ugh, rap, ugh," like that type of stuff. But
No, there's a lot of
I really,
trash. There
I
really is.
really can't. I really can't get into the like modern mainstream music, and because it's like they're like in like kind of like the 2010s and all that type of stuff. Even if you had somebody who I didn't like the voice of at all, like
Hmm.
you're like, okay, the production though is like saves it, like
Yeah.
half of the people like it's like I know IDS would vehemently disagree with me because I know he's a he will go to bat for 50 Cent and all that stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
but like sincerely 50 Cent like it like is carried by like he's one of those guys that's carried by production, but at the same
Mhm.
time though it's like but you can but at the same time though like the guys work on the production for his tracks, they were good production. I
Yeah.
hate the modern I hate the
Yeah, for
modern trap
sure.
sound right now because
Yeah.
uh it's so like just samey, like it's just all of it blends together. There's not enough unique voice anymore. Like production in the past, like there was so much, like a Dre beat sounded like a Dre beat. No one else had a Dre beat sound,
Yeah. Well,
like in G-Funk.
that's reminding me, like, as far as 50 Cent, I'm not the biggest. I don't think that he's super great, but I think he's fine. But we both strongly agree in our disagreement with you that Trey is first and like that his voice does not suit his beats. Like, obviously, I think his production value is more iconic than his voice.
Oh,
But
I didn't say his voice didn't
no, 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 you
particularly.
didn't. What were you saying? You're saying you said
I,
something
I
like,
said that he's like I say that 50 Dre is like actually not that great of a rapper. Like I'd argue
no,
like
no, no.
I'd say he's like pretty mediocre actually, even though IDS is all like
I hard disagree with that.
like IDS's definitive rapper is Dre. But for me, like I think like he like for me, like I guess the best way to describe it is that Dre just like there's like a certain swagger, I guess, like the exaggerated swagger of Black Teen. Anyway, there's a certain swagger that basically like works well that I feel like kind of because like works with like a lot of rap, I guess is going to describe it. And it's like either Eminem's like either you're kind of like Eminem where you have like the speed kind of working with you,
Yeah.
where it's just kind of and kind of like the attitude about it is it's like kind of like you're annoying but you're kind of like charismatically annoying. It's kind of like you're kind of a funny guy, you're kind of like a Kevin Hart going
Yeah.
on, like
Well,
it's like or I guess but or you have like a flow and basically like kind of like just like kind of you have like just like kind of like a like you're like Snoop Dogg, or Snoop
yeah,
Dogg, you
you
just
have a
kind of
sound.
it's just all like, yeah, it's me, I'm yeah, I'm the man. And Dre, I don't know, like Dre for me, like if it's like kind of like get these guys to be like walk down the street, be kind of like let me see your stride, see who has a cool walk. Snoop Dogg could have a cool pimp walk. I don't think Dre pulls off the pimp walk.
I don't know. I
uh
don't know what to talk about. He's got because not only does he rap, he's got a sound that sounds great, but also he can rap faster. There's a great song called "Hell Breaks Loose" where he actually is kind of keeping up with faster speed with that Eminem has. I think Eminem did write the lyrics for that song primarily, but Dre keeps up and he sounds great too. So I don't know.
yeah.
I don't think we're gonna agree there. Also, just I we also had a good question. He said, question for Larnuu because he keeps ignoring my letters. But since he's drawing me a character, I just wanted to know if I could draw him something too, and if so, what character would he want to see?
Yeah, I'll DM you that. Sorry if like first off, like I will say two things, just kind of like more publicly. Number one, the Discord that I use, that like stuff like the Smash Discord server that's I'm connected to. That's
Yeah.
not like my main account. Like I have to actively remember to log into it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get passively notifications on it because I use Discord for work stuff. So like I have to, so I keep my work and my public Discord separate. And second is it's like I'm not like being like, oh yeah, I'm not like I'm not like trying to ignore your shit or anything like that. So it's just that I'm fucking busy. I'm really busy.
Yeah, and he's not checking that account much. So if he's not getting
Yeah.
the passive
So
notifications, it's literally just going days without seeing it.
yeah, like let's put it this way, like I haven't talked to like in the past month. I think I've literally only had one. This is like my second call with Caleb in the past month.
Yeah, we have been crazy busy, so it's just been a lot.
So it's like there's a reason why we're not streaming. There's a reason why we don't talk no more. Anyway,
uh, well,
yeah,
yeah,
I prefer the version where Eminem goes, "How come we don't ever fuck no more?"
it is kind of crazy though that despite these last couple months being busy, like this has been this year I've met both you and IDS in real life.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. Like that's all in the span of 1 year.
It
Heck,
literally,
just a couple months.
yeah. It's yeah, it's definitely crazy. I would love to be in a position where like it would be like I don't know if like it would ever be practical like to ever have like like live in a closer area with you, but both you and IDS because you both would have to relocate to it. But I would like to at least live close to at least half the group, but ideally it would be the whole the whole entourage. We're kind of in the same area in the whole squad.
Ideally, if we could get like one summer at least of being able to do a bunch of stuff, that would be sick.
Yeah. Of course, another thing too about that too is like it's like how much of like us in the same area would be just dicking around, and how much of it would be it would be actual work.
I feel like if we had a full month or something, we could get a lot of good work done after getting some of the play stuff out of the way. I think we could probably hit a good balance. I think that because I know IDS can work really hard. It's just a lot of times he's so busy with a lot of different things, he just doesn't have the time. So if he literally had people directly right there, giving him exactly what he needs to do, I think that he absolutely would. But
I mean, the thing for me is, it's like I would love to be in like my biggest thing is like I do actually need collaborators and like certain things, but like I can't it's easier for me to work with a group than by myself. But the problem is though that like a lot of times though like working with a group, it tends to be kind of a little bit like not saying this in like any way to be able to fuck you or anything like that, but it's just like from my experience, kind of more so talking about like stuff with some of the stuff I've been doing professionally and all that. Basically, like I need people who basically can like will just like do shit on their own. Like they just don't like like they kind of will like assign themselves tasks, and then also kind of like I can't be a manager. That's like a big thing about it. It's like
I definitely agree that that's a valuable skill. The thing that's hard with that, as far as doing that cross distance, is that like you never when you're in a closer environment, there's a lot more freedom to ask quick questions, to like quick clarity, and kind of have that inner flowing of not having to micromanage, but also like having like that's your single-minded task to do this one thing or to get certain things together. So it just gets hard with that.
It's easier for me to just like being like, oh, just do it, like type of thing. Like like I can't say the name of the project because but
that's not
the
necessarily
thing I was working on that blew up, that basically it's just like so much of like the marketing team was basically shit on it, and people who like basically the people who we were basically who we were interacting with, basically like the main feedback we were getting from our consumers was, your marketing is shit, like what's going on here, basically. And marketing is fucking up. That's like a common thing. The reason why marketing was fucking up is like they would just like kind of look like that meme of Kanye just looking blank, like in like the front view, like the front camera thing. You seen that picture?
I don't know if I have.
And there's just like stupid like meme that people have where it's like it looks like people edit it. It's like, you know, Kanye FaceTime thing is just like Kanye looking blankly into a webcam, and it's used a bunch. It's like it's a really stupid image, but anyway, point being is it's like if um some of my work experience feels like, you know, that's just kind of what's going on with their brains, is that they just don't like, you know, it's just like even if you tell them what to do, they're just like kind of like a little bit of like, it's less of, it's like you can tell them the task, you're like, okay, I'll do it, but then it's like, yeah, but then they like, how do you want me to do it? I'm like, I don't, just fucking do it. That's your job to figure out how, you know. It's like, I need this. Okay, how do you need this? No, I needed this. Just do it. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you, pick up this paper, put it there, pick it up there. I'm like, at that rate, I'm just going to fucking do it myself.
Yep. Yeah, that is hard. I get that for sure.
Yeah. So,
But
heck, that's one reason why I actually started programming a bit, because of the fact that like I had experience where I was like working with programmers who needed to do something and trying to get them to the like, all those micro and fine adjustment things. I was like, it's so fucking annoying. I just like, why can't I just move it myself? I need to learn how to actually just move the shit.
It's been very good for you too, clearly.
Yeah. And I've been trying to work on this 3D model the entire stream, and can't figure out if I'm making any progress or if I'm just making a fucking mess.
Well, hopefully it's been relaxing, because yeah, this has definitely been a good time to just chill. Because we've been going for 2.5 hours now, if you can believe that.
Yeah, and so that is not bad work for 2.5 hours, actually, given the process I've been working on it with.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, and the game's quite fun. I can't wait to see the finished thing. Although I turned it off because the page literally froze on the 10th level. I think my computer's overworking itself.
Let's hope it's the computer's issue, not my thing, because I'm trying to.
It almost definitely is the computer, because there was some lag that was coming in that has happened with my computer a few times. It's an older computer. So
I won't say that's like one thing that like a lot of the stuff that I tend to have more of a passion for as I get older, you know, in terms of music and video games. Like it tends to get more frustrating for me because of the fact that so much about that stuff is like, you know, so like music, you have to make sure it's like it sounds good, not just on one person speaker, but on everybody's speakers. Video, it's like a video, it's a fucking video. You just like you slap the shit together and beep, boom. It's like, you know, if it lags for a second, it's like, oh yeah, it's my phone. Okay. But if it doesn't sound good, no one ever goes, and people go, oh, song's shit. I'm like, it's because you have shitty speakers. Of course, every song sounds shit to you. Or it's like a video game where people are like, oh, the game don't look. I'm like, it's because you have a bad machine or you're not turning on hardware acceleration. You know, it's like that type of stuff, you know, and it's like, that's what, you know, like that kind of like, you know, making sure it works for the majority of people.
Yeah,
it's a different challenge that you don't have to worry about it, and you don't fully understand it until you've done something with it, and then you're like it's a miracle how any cross-platform release ever happens for any video game ever.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, well, presumably they have a lot of money for some of those big ones, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, anybody who fucking uploads any mobile video games is like you know, it's like you need if somebody makes a mobile port of something, you need to give them a pat on the back, don't roll your eyes at that shit, because like trying to work with like just like trying to get your things running on Android or iPhone is actually a freaking nightmare. It's like you need it's like so much more effort to actually get to get that running than like a native port for it. Like, you know, even like making sure the game can work for HTML5 isn't the easiest thing in the world. But mobile is like a whole other hurdle.
Yeah,
it's like one of the reasons why like the pinball game I made just only recently, like I got a beta out for the mobile version for it, and like I still can't figure out how to get like a proper running version for the other games too, but the pinball one has one. So
yeah.
But yeah, Google wants way too much information if you upload to the Google Play Store.
Ugh, gosh, yeah. It sounds like it. It stinks.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was going back now, David. What time is it for you guys right now? Bumblewitz asks. It is almost 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
it's like 5:30 for me. I probably have an hour longer of being here, and then I'm gonna go and grab
Yeah,
some dinner.
I'm getting kind of beat, honestly. So if we want to wrap up in the next 5 minutes as far as stream is concerned, I'm good with that. Want to speak in facts? Prime example are the Sonic ports. Bumbleblitz says.
Yeah, like Sonic Heroes, for example, like like it has a like some it works good on GameCube, but not so good on PlayStation.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Guess which version most people played?
The PlayStation. uh, oh well. Yeah. Yeah, are they playing? Aren't they playing that now on Oni plays? Are they playing the? I don't know which port they're playing. Probably.
Let me check. I need to see. It's like it was released on all the main platforms for it.
At the time.
Yeah, so Sonic Heroes though, it's like that was like kind of like the first like like Sega's first like multi-platform Sonic release, and it was kind of like supposed to be like a soft like reboot introduction for it. Okay, yes, GameCube. The buttons are all the GameCube buttons. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I know Heroes has like something like a lot of mixed reception on it because of the fact that it's because it has like I don't know, it's like it has a lot of good ideas, but then it also has like these minor hiccups, and depending on like what type of person you are, you're going to either be like those hiccups were in the game for me, or it's going to be like that's excusable. I kind of fall into the latter camp, like I do, but I might also be biased because Heroes was also my first 3D Sonic.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, the uh, the the gameplay does look kind of fun.
It's definitely. I'd argue that Heroes is actually a little bit more fun if it wasn't a Sonic game, which Sonic does periodically run into those issues where, where I actually like certain games in the series, but they don't feel like you don't want to pick them up for like if you're in the mood for playing that type of game. Like Sonic Last World's a good example of it. Like they were trying to. It was a Nintendo exclusive when it came out, so they were trying to appeal towards like a Nintendo playing audience, which so like they made it like the design choices way too close to like a Mario sort of game. And if you're more of a mood of playing like a game that feels like Mario, then Lost World's a pretty good game for that. But if you're in the mood for playing a game that feels like playing like an actual Sonic game, Lost World's like definitely like one of the worst picks you could go for that objective.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, Lebner said, "Hey, Callan, can you react to the video in general? I'm not sure what video. Are you talking about the Oniware video? Huh? Yeah, that's true. There's been stuff going on in the Discord. Let me look. The video in general on the Discord. Yeah, gotcha. I guess we can make that sort of a tradition of
just send videos in general or something. You could probably just.
Well, I know the last stream we did, I watched one of, I don't know if it was Oso or Lebner, but I watched a video as like the last thing we did on the stream, since we're just 3 minutes away from 6:30. It's probably a good way to. Death just raped Count LF. Cool, thanks.
Shout out to Death Editor.
Yeah. Let's watch. I'm gonna download this video right quick, and then I'll grab it on the stream so we can watch it together. Wow.
I'll probably just let you react to it because trying to get all the sharing stuff is just going to be
I need to figure out a way to make it so that you guys can hear videos I play on stream, because I could easily play
Discord
on stream.
Discord is like the best part.
That's true. You're right. They do have that set up on Discord. One of these days we'll win IDS over. But even with his new computer, it doesn't seem like he wants to use Discord ever.
I mean, I still am not exactly the biggest Discord fan personally. Like, I'm kind of.
Like, I'm not crazy about it either, but at least as far as that's concerned, that's nice for displaying things. 1 second. I'm gonna window capture. What's the QuickTime player? I really don't have that many windows, which is throwing me off actually. What? Oh wow, this is that window capture is crazy.
Fun, fun, fun. Okay, here we go. We're gonna play this video, boys. And then I'm going to kill myself. Oh, it's literally 6 seconds. Ow. Ow. You pricks. You pricks.
But
It's just ear rape. It was just awful, awful ear rape. So I hope everyone on the stream got ear raped and suffered as I did. Well.
I can't believe you just got assaulted on stream.
Huh?
Got assaulted on stream, dude.
I did? I'm not seeing
Yeah.
the chat now. Oh dear.
You get, it's got this. You just got it's actually assaulted through the ear.
Oh, so you saw that. Sound warning. Okay.
One is for the sound warning.
Yeah, I got the sound warning. Ow. Seeing the chat respond now. Oh, brother.
Yeah, it's like you can't believe Caleb just got trolled here, epic style. What are you, a freaking liberal?
I got freaking trolled hard, dude. Well, thank you guys for watching today. We had a good time. Hopefully we can get IDS on the next one of these adventures. But it was good to just chill and talk and catch up, especially since Cage is working on a cool game.
It means look, head.
Cage has a cool game. I got a mask now. So I'm going to be running around my neighborhood with a Tahoe mask, screaming at children. It's going to be great.
You should just like make a you should just make a TikTok where you just make a billion TikToks as Tahoe and you just call it the official Tahoe and it's just the entire joke. It's like, hey, it's me Tahoe, convicted sex offender. Today we're going to be talking about the thing.
That's true. I could start my little commentary, like kind of like what Ray William Johnson's done with his little like reactions, like, "Wow, this guy looks like a prick, but actually, it kind of makes sense if you."
Wow, this guy looks like it's a redacted Ray William Johnson's favorite word.
Hi, Ray William Johnson here, and I have the biggest Johnson. I have a bigger Johnson than LJ.
Dude, what would you do if you just like if you went to Big Bear, Virginia, and you walked into the he walked into the public restroom and then he saw LJ there with his dick hanging out and it was huge? What would you say?
I'd say, nice Johnson.
What would you do? Well done.
Well done. But how did you keep the Johnson from pissing on us too?
You know what you should have done is, oh, I'm sorry, and you should have responded with, sorry for what? Our daddy taught us to not be ashamed of our dicks. You know that video, right?
I haven't thought. I think I have heard that before, but it's been so long. I need.
Yeah, it's like this weird, like for a period of time, there was there was actually a weird YouTube meta where people would just take like clips of like the bad acting parts of porn without the porn itself and just finding the funniest bits from it.
Yeah.
And there were a couple good memes that came out of that era, and like the two best ones were. Number one, there's this gay porn where there's this guy just striking off in the woods, and then one guy walks by and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry," and the other guy goes, "Sorry for what? Our daddy taught us to not be ashamed of our dicks." And then there's like these weird rednecks that you have this like buzz cut guy, and then you had this like kind of like fucking like it was like pedo rapist looking stepdad guy too, and he's like, and the guy's like, oh, like that's the pedo is the one that walked in on the buff guy jerking off. And he goes, oh, well, it seems like your dad taught you many things. He goes, yeah, like some like how you can use and I mean, no, fuck, I'm messing this up. It's like basically
we'll
the guy
watch
goes,
video.
it's like, yeah. It's basically like the pedo guy basically says like, it's like, my daddy taught me some things too. Like, you can like make it feel better if you use your mouth instead of your hands. And then the guy goes, can you show me how? And he goes, I would be gladly happy to. Walks off camera, and then that's it.
Oh no!
The most weird southern thing you've seen. It's, the two other iconic memes is like I should have left you on that street corner when I had the chance, but you didn't. And then also, and then my other favorite too is also, and this is from a straight one, is that there's like the scene where like guy's just taking a bath, and then a girl comes in and basically is like lifeguard things, and then she's all like, it's basically like starts, you know, saying like trying to do this like sexy talk about being a lifeguard, and the guy is just there perplexed, being like, this isn't a beach, this is a bathroom. This is a bathtub. And it's just the entire time he's just like, what are you talking about? And then like and you know, she's just like just, you know, messing with the guy, and the entire time he's just completely confused what's happening.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's ugly. Well, I'll have to watch that. Bumblewood said, where did you get that Kanohi? At the Liberal store? Wah. I can't believe we got the first hypothetical right at the end. We had another hypothetical. We had the time jumping hypothetical. Also, David Lebner, I'm going to end on him. He said, make the Tux tribe, which I don't know what that is, but I do kind of want to now get pictures of myself in my nice tuxedo with my time mask on. I want to make that could be quite the look. Tahu.
I just caught a comment me at the Liberal store. That's the entire caption.
Me at the Liberal. Perfect. All right. Well, boys, we ended up with 4 viewers and 44 likes. There's no better way to end this stream. I feel like that's just kind of like a general habit of this, your streams are just kind of like people swing by and they're like, oh, and then they leave. Yeah, but then we've got lovely people like Oso who listen back to us talk about nonsense and go, I feel that. Callan, flash your chest. I'm not gonna do that. I'll do that next stream if I get like $50 or something. I have too much self-respect to do that for free.
Boy, you better be showing them testicles real good.
Yeah. Goodbye from